Dale.
Fucking no sound the whole time.
This whole time?
Yeah.
This whole time you didn't even have any sound on?
No.
Okay, well, what can we do? What can we do with you? Shall we start over? Or should we just continue?
No. We're gonna just. I guess we'll. I don't know. We'll just continue. We'll just continue. Hey guys, we're live. You know, we had a day off. We're rusty. You know, this is an everyday thing. You know, we have a habit. Listen, I got this new soundboard. It's great.
It needs to be turned off.
But if you don't turn it off, and I just go live with it, the sound will start dropping out. So,
okay, but like, how do you remind yourself to turn it on before you begin? Like, is there
it's only like the second time I've not turned it on.
Huh?
It's only the second time.
Are you sure about that? I mean, I'm not going to argue with you, but
yeah, I think it's like the second time. You know, it definitely isn't more than 3 times. Could be 4 times, maybe 3 times. I think it's more than. This is the second time. This is like the second. This one's the most egregious though. Like, we had a long conversation.
Yeah.
We talked about my cousin Heath, who just suddenly dropped dead. Mm-hmm. We talked about you talked about the meat suit and how whatever, it's faulty garden.
Something like that.
I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. What's up, everybody? We have volume. Voluminous now.
Voluminous. That's great.
Luminosity.
I was just talking about how weird it is to like have to skip work because you're sick. You know.
Yeah.
Like skip doing anything because you're sick, and you're like, oh, I'm in this, like, all of a sudden my mortal vessel has decided to like break down on the side of the road, and I have to like nurse it back to health like a baby bird that fell out of its nest, and it's just so stupid, you know?
Delicat's asking what we were talking about. We were talking about my cousin. Yeah, we were talking about my cousin. I was just talking about how I come from this very large family of 40 plus first cousins. I have probably 200 plus. I don't even know what the number is of second cousins. It's impossible that. I mean, it's fucking, what's his name? Noah. Like, it's just big.
Do you know how many aunts and uncles do you have?
Well, they're almost all gone now. But I had, my mom had 11 brothers and sisters, and only one of them didn't marry. So she had 10. So I had 20 aunts and uncles from my mom's side.
That is a town.
It's a town. My grandmother's funeral was... It was an ocean of people. It looked like did the mayor die? Like, it was so many people. It was ridiculous.
The mayor of the town, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, she made the town, so she's Amazing. The mayor. So anyway, yeah, so I found out that, you brought up a topic that led me to reveal that, I've in the last 2 weeks, I've had an aunt and 2 uncles. I mean, no, an aunt and 2 cousins. Just pop. Now, the aunt, I mean...
You're saying they passed away?
She was elder, but then, yeah, my cousin, 58 years old, heart attack. Heart attack, Jack.
Yeah, and, I guess it's a common thing. I didn't really know about this, but apparently it's true. I mean, Bill Burr had his last comedy special about it, that there's, like...
The drop dead years.
The drop dead years, right? Like, there's like a phase, an age, right? Like, I don't know, maybe from, like, 50 to 62 or something. Where men not typically, but that sometimes they don't survive, and it's like a common thing.
Fellbombing, what's up? It's so fucking great to see you. It's so weird, bro. I was like, I don't know what happened, but I got pulled into one of our other lives through a comment with a tag on it or whatever. I clicked on it, and Fellbombing, like I was speaking to Fellbombing. And I was like, oh, man, I miss Fellbombing. Like, that was yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Or no, it was the day, whatever day was off.
The reason why was because I was replaying for my own entertainment.
Oh, the Horny Growl episode.
Yes.
That's right.
I replayed the dance scene video that we made.
Yes, and Fellbombing was there.
And I read a question from Fellbombing.
Super good to see you. Mm-hmm. Lacey's here. Good to see you. And Melissa is here. Yay. Deanna and... Delicate is here. Bobo is here.
Deanna's
no 2 trolls.
Deanna's like, make a sticker to remind you, Dale.
Yeah, I know.
I know. I'm
not too professional.
I have to break out like my like craft X-Acto set or something and like cut him like a little placard that goes on his desk.
This is a mom and pop operation around
bright
here.
Bright red.
Sometimes we forget to bring the broom. I don't know what that means.
I don't know either. That reminded me the other day about how I was telling you that you needed to trim your mustache because it was getting a little push broom.
Push broom, yeah. And then I went,
That's you push brooming.
it's like push broom in your face. Okay. It's good to see you guys. All good to see you guys. By the way, I'd like to start with something, if I may.
Yep.
Because there are some people who watch the lives who don't come to the lives. They watch the replays. Mm-hmm. And there's one who she's wonderful. I mean, she hangs out. She's comments. She's, she appears to appreciate the content enough to keep coming back. I'm not going to say her name because we're in a little bit of a conflict, and it's not just her. There are others about this whole Amber thing, Heard thing. So I just want to speak about it for just a moment. And I want to kind of clear the air. Okay,
but specify. What do you mean, Amber Heard thing?
Yeah, so there's this like.
How we seem to be in disagreement with some of the people in our chat.
Yeah, and people are being like highly critical of me over this what appears to be, according to them, some kind of ignorance that I have.
I don't think it's controversial to agree with a jury's decision. I think that we as a society accept that juries, they decide on cases, and that's something that we should all just accept as part of the judicial process. I mean, I don't think that's controversial at all, ever, to agree with the outcome of a jury's decision.
No, what's interesting about that is some of the people who are arguing with me about it are quick to point out how she won her defamation case against Johnny in the same trial and got a $2 million judgment, if you recall.
What are you talking about?
Amber Heard.
She won a defamation case?
Yeah, she in that trial, she got a $2 million award for her defamation claim, which had to do with specifically one of Johnny Depp's lawyers said something specifically publicly. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so like the lawyer said something, and she filed in the countersuit.
I didn't know that was in the same.
Yeah, she got.
I know the thing that the jury did not find in Johnny Depp's favor was that his team had never determined that she trashed the penthouse. So that was a win for her side. I remember that, but I didn't think that.
Well, that would have been that he didn't prove it, and not that. Like, I mean, she actually won her counterclaim. Like those two shouldn't be conflated, because Johnny didn't prove something he claimed doesn't give her a win. It gives him,
No, I understand.
The loss.
I completely forgot that. That other thing that you were talking about. What was his name? I can't remember his name. That some Johnny Depp associate who had been his attorney and had been acting as like his consigliere for a while was very outspoken in about Amber Heard, and then she filed a claim against him. You're saying she prevailed?
No, she prevailed against. I'm telling you what she prevailed against. It was one allegation of defamation, and it was a statement that her lawyer had made, a public statement that her lawyer had made, either at a press conference or in an interview. I don't know which. As I say,
his name's Adam Waldman.
Okay, so she got a $10 million judgment, or sorry, a $2 million judgment.
He wasn't his lawyer in this case. He was his lawyer previously.
Okay.
Okay.
Just his lawyer. I don't know. That's all I know is that it was his lawyer. I don't know what. I'm not specifying which lawyer. So. But, and I'm speaking obviously specifically about the Depp v. Heard trial. I'm not talking about
Virginia.
She didn't win the case in the UK. She wasn't party to that case.
She wasn't party to the case, and also her evidence was not scrutinized under cross-examination in that case. So it's very different. It's a very different situation.
And by the way, I didn't follow that case very deeply.
I don't know anything about it.
Let me say what I wanted to say about this thing, because I don't want to, because this is a case. This case is over, and so I'm not going to like retry it beyond occasionally citing it because it might bring some relevance to the situation. But I'm just going to tell you my position on everything and where I get it from. When Amber Heard's allegations first dropped, and I heard them, I don't know when that was specifically in her timeline of how shit went down, I believed her, as I usually do. So I believed Amber Heard, and I was sad and disappointed for Johnny Depp, because it was like, would have been nice if he wasn't a fucking jerk off, right? So that was where that opened for me. Then the Amber Heard trial, or the trial against the newspaper or whatever it was in in the UK, that by osmosis found for her that in other words, the paper wasn't lying, right? And she was witness, right? She was the star witness, right? And I didn't know then also that there was a single judge, you know? I didn't know any of this, like, you know, that there was no jury involved. And I tend to feel a lot stronger about a jury verdict than I would a single judge's verdict, because I feel like a judge can easily slide into bias and there's nothing to weigh it against
The
except
attorneys
the
have to
law
work
itself.
so much harder to convince 12 jurors. Or was it 9? I can't remember, but whatever. It's like really
It's 12 jurors in America.
Always?
Yes, I believe always. So anyway, so then the trial happened here, and we followed the whole trial. We watched it every single day, and we followed the whole trial. And by watching it every single day, I mean, it was literally on constantly. It was just burning an image on our television. And I was, of course, riveted by it because it was just this crazy case and, you know, whatever. I agreed with the jury at the end of that trial. And there's a myriad of reasons why, and I could go into them, you know, ad nauseum, but there's no reason to, because the trial's over. But I agreed with the jury, and I saw, relatively speaking, I saw the same evidence. It wasn't until later that I learned about Melissa Nathan's involvement. It wasn't until later that I realized that she, Amber Heard, was clearly the victim of a smear campaign.
Oh, yeah, man.
Which
makes Johnny Depp so much worse
than he already was.
Yeah,
and
because
he
there was a lot of like text messages and audio recordings of them both having arguments, where Johnny Depp was just like there's some text messages where he was just being really misogynistic.
I'll tell you,
I was like, wow.
I viewed, of course, but I viewed that situation. I just want to say I've seen toxic relationships up close and personal. And I mean, like, super toxic. And I've seen them up close and personal. I know what they are, and not my relationships. My relationships, maybe not perfect, but never, you know, crazy, you know. But it's a kind of a cultural thing. Like, there's like anyway, mutually toxic relationships. I've seen them. I've witnessed them. I recognize them. I feel confident that I witnessed that, and I believe the jury did as well. That Amber Heard and Johnny Depp were equally evil to one another. You know, there was a balance about their absolute, like, I mean, what a relationship. It was just putrid. And they both acted accordingly to each other. So anyway, I've seen this before, and I feel confident that that's what that was. And it's a different thing. While abuses occur in these types of relationships, it's, you know, I believe the bottle throwing incident. I believe it. Do you know what I mean? I believe that she chuck glassed him. I believe they scooped her and got her out of the country, out of Australia, where they have a glassing legislation, and where she could have been facing charges, like serious fucking charges. So I believe all that. I believe all that happened. I don't believe for a second any the other. Well, anyway, I believe that happened. And when you think about that, and then you think about the other evidence and some of the stuff that she claims, I just see, again, a mutual toxicity that just, where it boiled over to the point where they were trying to destroy each other at the utmost level. A War of the Roses, if you've seen the movie. Mm-hmm. You know? It's a War of the Roses. It's a Mr. and Mrs. Smith. It's just that kind of a situation. But in its own context.
We've been talking about this in the context of Baldoni and Lively, about how there's a certain level of like wealth and status where the only way that these people can attack each other is by destroying each other's reputation, because that's the only thing they have that's still fragile, right, and is still very important to protect so they can continue to exploit. But it's the only thing, like, you can't go and like try and destroy somebody's like money or fame or whatever, because that's fixed. These people are always going to have money. They're always going to be able to fight each other if it's about money, you know? So reputational damage is the only way that they can harm each other. Yeah. And that to me seemed like that's how that dispute started. And it just, I think that it continued to spiral, and it got worse and more, the attacks got more elaborate, and then when it came time to sort of present the case of those elaborate claims, they were not backed up by an appropriate amount of convincing evidence. No. But the Melissa Nathan revelation was huge. Yeah, it was. Because when we were following the trial, I could not understand how so many people online were so venomous against Amber Heard. Like never once was I like, even in the moments in the trial where I was like, wow, your story is inconsistent with the facts that were being shown. Like there's no way that you cut your feet on glass the way you claim that you did, and then you walked upstairs after, and you're not talking about any pain or struggle walking upstairs, and then you walk downstairs the next day and there's audio of you clomping around in boots, like where your voice is trailing off with the clomping of the boots and you're walking normally, and then you got whisked away and you're running through an airport, but you tore your feet up on glass according to you. Like even in those instances, I never once thought that Amber Heard deserved the ghastly fucking attacks that she had from these fucking social media content creators. I was like, what is this? And it just makes so much more sense. It's such a relief to know that Melissa Nathan was behind all of that, because it's just, I had such like low opinion of people trying to, even if somebody didn't believe anything she ever said, you still don't attack somebody who's telling a story about abuse that way. Like even if you don't think that she's telling the truth, you're not gonna mock that kind of testimony, you know? Like never ever should anybody feel comfortable mocking that.
Yeah, I didn't participate in any of that sort of thing, and I wouldn't. And I mean, I guess that's whatever. I talk my shit about Baldoni. We're about to read from his deposition. I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, I mean, I saw the trial. I sided with the jury on the decision. I thought that the right decisions were made. I as far as the defamation claim that she won, I didn't really understand it. Really, you know what I mean? Like I heard what he said. It was weird that they were able to like.
You're talking about Adam Waldman, what he said?
Yeah,
about
I think
her?
it was Waldman. Yeah,
and so she had a defamation claim against him.
That she won. Yeah, because he said some trash.
I'm surprised that was part of that case, because that seems like too many cooks in the kitchen.
It was, and she won it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
She got a $2 million judgment.
Yeah, that seems fair. I mean, like if he can prove that what he said was true, then yeah, she wins that for sure.
But
did the same jury decide on that?
Nothing that I'm. My opinion of what happened is based on the trial and the trial alone. You know what I mean? I didn't watch social media. Beyond what I was fed, but I never jumped down the rabbit holes because I didn't need to. I was watching the trial.
You and I have been doing things like with the Karen Reed trial. There was so much like extraneous conversations about everything, and we were only watching what was being presented in the court. You know, I feel like it's a good way to sort of like provide commentary about these things, because like, okay, you're covering a trial. That means that you're covering what happens at a trial. It's like all this other stuff. There's so much like conspiracy theorizing, and especially with Melissa Nathan involved, like they can distort whatever story is actually true into all kinds of falsehoods, right? And frame it in a way that people believe. It's kind of a jungle out there. Like it's way better for everything to be like scrutinized and determined to be admissible in court, and then that's what you look at and that's what you talk about when you're covering a trial. My
opinion of that trial is not an endorsement of Johnny Depp. My opinion of that trial does not mean that Johnny Depp wasn't awful to her. He appears to be, from what I can glean, a deeply ingrained misogynist.
I know one of the things that's really irritating is when people hear about this that we're on one side and they're like, "Oh, you're a Johnny Depp supporter." I'm like, I don't fucking know him.
I mean, Andy Signer literally, what are you turning on? What are you going to turn on Johnny now? That's what he said.
What the fuck is he to me?
Like we were in the streets of New York. What are you going to turn on Johnny now? Fucking Andy Signer. No,
like there's this tribalism, where people are like, "Oh, I have to be on one side or the other. I can't just be like a person who's commentating on like, courtroom drama that we've all seen televised." Like, why do I have to have a tattoo or a brand at the end of this?
Another good example of that actually is Charles Bukowski. About what I'm talking about. Charles Bukowski lived within a culture that everybody else would look at as abusive. Because on face value it's abusive. But it's a mutually abusive, weird culture. They don't even want it differently. Like, this is what I'm talking about in terms of my witnessing this. Like, some people live in this state, and like, it's how they live. And
you and I were just talking. We were watching that documentary, "The Fall of Western Civilization," which is a music documentary. Yeah. They have 2 volumes. One's about punk music, American punk music, and the other one is about American heavy metal, and like hair metal and shit. In the 80s. Yeah. And it's like, that's like a whole culture. Like they don't have the same rules that we do. Like they don't live by the same.
Exactly right. This like barfly culture is where, this like dive bar, barfly type culture is where Charles Bukowski lived.
Yeah. So
lived.
if Johnny Depp wants to be a rock star douchebag, like, okay.
Yeah, he's a guy who talks about Betty's. He's like a a cute little Russian thing. I think he said.
Yes. I was like, oh my god, you're
like,
so
dude,
embarrassing. You're such a boomer.
A cute little Russian thing. That's what you got.
I know.
So it's nasty and gnarly, but it doesn't have anything to do with the trial. That doesn't have anything to do with the trial or my opinion on the trial. It was the same thing for O.J. Simpson, I mean, I agreed with the jury's decision on the O.J. Simpson trial. Right. I was 100% convinced that O.J. Simpson murdered Nicole Brown Simpson or Nicole Brown and Goldman. But I also believed that fucking Thurman fucked it up, and that Marsha Clark fucked it up, and that what's his name, try on the gloves.
You cannot find a different conclusion with that evidence the way it was presented by these fucking people.
Yeah, it was such a botch up job from the fucking LAPD up to the DA. It was an absolute complete debauchery.
Listen, and it's not controversial to agree with a jury. Like, this is what we do in societies. This is why we have jury trials.
Well, and understanding why the jury is coming to that conclusion is probably a big part of that. Like, it's easy for us to be able to weigh in this other evidence. Like somebody keeps saying, "Oh, you don't have all the evidence. You don't have the evidence," and I'm just like, "Well, then fucking put a link." But what I saw, what the jury saw, and that's what I'm going with. And no, I didn't dig any deeper, and I don't want to. I'm interested in what the jury had to say about the evidence we saw. Mm-hmm. And I, by the way, did get to see a lot of the shit that the jury didn't get to see, because we got to see, shit in between motions, whatever, instructions and so on and so forth, whatever it was, you know what I'm talking about. They just didn't like put witnesses up and bring in the jury. So they did a lot of stuff without the jury. They did it on the Karen retrial as well. I think
it's just really interesting to, I think it's important to clarify this sort of stuff before we get closer to the lively Baldoni trial.
Yeah.
Because what we're going to do is cover what is being presented at the trial and not this like extraneous fucking, manipulated by publicists fucking outside story shit. It's like all of that stuff is just not safe. Like, you can't trust it. Because Melissa Nathan is involved, for instance.
Exactly. So that's my stance on it. And like, if anybody wants to throw some, like, I'm not going to go dig on, this case is years old. We got our hands fucking full. I'm not going back in time to go and dig into the Amber Heard trial and learn the information that didn't get in and all this other stuff. But if somebody wants to send me a link, I'll read anything. I'm a fairly, I read a lot in terms of articles and shit. I read them all day. So I'll be glad to read something, but I'm not going to go looking for it because I'm busy as shit.
How do you feel about people making comparisons to the Depp v. Heard trial and the Lively v. Baldoni trial?
I don't see a comparison between the two. I don't see any comparison between the two. There's one is, War of the Roses. And the other one is a it's a workplace dispute. It's a totally different.
Right. I see Lively's situation as very, very well within the Me Too era of like, these people are taking advantage of a culture of silence within the workplace where they can be abusive to women who work in Hollywood. Right. That was the Me Too thing.
Yeah.
Not specifically Hollywood, but women in the workplace. And then Amber Heard's allegations seem to be falling. Her claims were domestic violence claims, which is obviously extremely important, but different. I don't see them comparable that way. I know that Amber Heard really wanted to be a feature of the Me Too movement.
Yeah.
I just don't know whether it's. I don't see it.
What are you gonna do? All right.
But you wanted to bring that up because people have
yeah, just I'm getting like people are giving.
Did people reach out to you privately or in
well,
comments?
in comments and stuff. And so I'm just sending a notice to them and saying, hey, first of all, you don't have to be mean about it. If you want to send me some information that you think I'm missing, I'll read it. To use words like calling me gross or that we're gross. Yeah, somebody said we were gross because I talked about how I didn't find her to be a credible witness. I said her body language, the way she was talking, the way her testimony was, whatever. And somebody called that gross. And I'm like, that's a part of believing or not believing a fucking witness. What are you talking about? Like you look at somebody, you're like, I don't believe them when they speak. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we know she's not up there
thing.
testifying against herself.
Right. Witness credibility is a big thing. This is why some people like have a whole career where they're like expert witnesses because they come off as very credible people.
Yeah, there's a fucking big giant fucking, million subscriber plus YouTube channel that's and many near its size for body interpretation or whatever they call it, body language.
Yeah, right. Those guys.
Yeah, I mean, and we all have our own intuitive.
Well, I wonder how many of those videos were generated as like whether they were ordered from Melissa Nathan's camp, Like looking back, like I don't know what about that coverage was actually true or valid.
Yeah, I mean, I watched Amber Heard's testimony, and more than once, I felt like it was utterly theatrical. Like I was like, "You think you're fooling us, but you're not." That's what it felt like as I watched it. It didn't feel sincere. It felt like it was a put on.
I personally was only trying to listen for inconsistencies in between the story that was being told and the evidence that we were being presented with. And there were certain things that I was like, that cannot be true. The way that you're saying it can't be true because these other things you said also can't be true with that.
Yeah.
It's just like inconsistencies are always going to screw up somebody's story. It's like when Steve Sarowitz is saying that he was sure that nothing bad ever happened on the set of It Ends With Us. But then they asked him how many times he had actually been on the set, and he said 2.
Twice, 10 minutes.
Yes.
10 minutes each at top. He spent
That
20
is an
minutes
inconsistent
in its entirety, spent 20, which means that that they listen to each other, that they're not actually, living with something empirical, experience, video, whatever. Instead, they're just like, no, they tell me everything's great and they're great. So if they're great and they're telling me everything's great, everything must be great.
And it's impossible that something bad could have happened.
It's a Baha'i set.
And I know because I know because I'm an expert because I'm the boss, but I was only ever there twice. You know what I mean? Those are inconsistent statements under oath. They can't both be true, It's important to look for those things.
Yeah.
Because then when you're a juror, you get to come back with questions and make sure that they clarify those inconsistencies. And if they can't, then you can't, believe the person who's provided that testimony.
Everybody loves Leo again. They all think he's so cute. He's just so cute.
Oh,
and
because
look at him being cute and he's so playful.
Acted goofy.
He's so playful.
At the Golden Globes.
Yeah, because they caught that that exchange.
Well, he's the king of the memes. Everybody loves to meme Leonardo DiCaprio.
He knew what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was doing, bro. Remember how what's his name? Shia LaBeouf. Remember he used to do those green screens for people? He knows what he's doing. Leo knows what he's doing, and it works. He's fantastic at it. He's so good at it.
No, it's a shame that they can't meme any scenes in your book. Because those are pretty memorable and weird behaviors.
He's got to feel good about how easily he was able to get rid of my book. He's got to feel pretty good about that. I mean, nobody talks about it. It's a very small amount of people talk about it. He's got to feel. I mean, he probably doesn't feel anything. He's, I'm sure that, at some point he'll be like, yeah, dude, that was easy. Whatever. Good on him. Good on you.
But when you said he probably doesn't feel anything, it made me think like, oh my God, what if he doesn't? What if he's an actor because he struggles to feel anything?
Yeah.
Sometimes I wonder about these people who have like, like if his.
I don't think he experienced sadness. I really don't. Like, I mean, he will when Ermelyn dies, when George dies, or, like he experienced those. He was probably sad when Rocky died. Rocky was his Rottweiler. Mm-hmm. It's a great dog. I didn't know him so well, but...
Do you think that maybe he feels more sadness than...
He was a good boy.
Than not? I mean, I don't know. I don't know anything
Potato
about him.
Potato's here, by the way.
Who?
Potato.
Oh, sweet. I just, I don't know, man. I don't envy the lifestyle where you spend your whole life on yachts and you talk, and all of your friends are super rich assholes. I just feel like that just seems really fucking dull and boring. When you're in that level, that status, everybody in the whole world, besides your very rich asshole friends, treat you so differently that you just cannot move through anywhere on the planet and be a normal person.
It's probably why he doesn't stick around with women, because he probably doesn't believe that anyone actually loves him.
Oh my God, that's so sad.
God, I made you feel sad for Leonardo. I mean,
That's what you started out saying.
I'm just failing.
I don't feel sad for Leonardo DiCaprio.
I just fucking made you feel empathy. You just had a heart fucking pounding sigh.
He is not trapped in some gilded cage.
You're like, oh my God, poor Leo.
No.
He can't love because he can't be loved.
That's not me. That's really funny. No, he could break out of that gilded cage no matter what. It's like anytime that you see somebody who's like super rich and like well connected and they're like struggling with anything, you're like, why, dude? You just fix that so much easier than anybody else with real problems.
We should probably start reading. I'll tell you why, because I started reading, thanks to our scientist who is not with us this evening, but hopefully she'll drop by. And if she can't or won't or doesn't, maybe she'll catch us in the replay. And I thank her. She sent us the Baldoni file because I couldn't find it anywhere. And it's true that I'm probably being my age or something in that situation, but I just couldn't fucking find it. Anyway, she sent it, and I just started reading it. And then I just turned to Angela and I was like, well, I think we just have to read it. It's 160 pages of actual like PDF pages that would have to be read. I don't know how you guys feel about us reading that. And if you don't think so, like speak up and we'll do more of a, like, we'll go and scrutinize it. But otherwise, again, the reason why is because I found most of it just fascinating. Yeah, there was like a couple pages that went by where it was like paced out, dialogue or whatever. Mm-hmm. But it moves at a good clip.
Well, I had a couple more stories I wanted to bring.
Well, I'm just, okay.
Before we start, so maybe people can weigh in about whether you guys want us to read that. I kind of like having a way for people who don't have time or the bandwidth to read these documents themselves to just be able to listen to this, to what the deposition testimony is.
Yeah.
There's some new stuff. A lot of it we've already covered already, but I always feel like it's nice to just have that on audio for folks. I don't know if it should be like...
Everyone agrees. They're all like, dive in, let's dive in.
Okay, cool. Do you want to hear from the
chat
chat
first? It's not everyone,
first?
but it's enough. You have what?
Do you want to hear from the chat first?
Yeah, let's do it real quick.
Okay. Deanne said, I was watching the documentary The Program about kids being taken and abused to have behavior modification. I saw a report that Nick Reiner was sent to something like similar. Yeah, like the troubled teen industry. I think you and I watched this one, The Program.
Is this the one with Bam?
No.
Oh, yeah, no, I think I know
No,
what you're
but
talking about.
he has his own stories to tell about that. But I think The Program was the one where it's like adult children who had been going to this place, who had been sent to this place and like kidnapped in the middle of the night. And then their experience, they go back to like the boarding school where they were sent to has since closed down and it's all been abandoned. And so the whole documentary takes place where all these kids are returning to that spot. Is that the same one? That was a really good one. It's really, really harrowing, dude.
Yeah.
People are just like, yeah, I'll pay this industry to like kidnap my kid in the middle of the night and then tell me that they're okay while they're being like literally tortured and there's no oversight whatsoever. They just prey on people, bro. The troubled teen industry is so harrowing, so horrible. I think
what's even worse is that like parents are like, I don't know what to do. Start with love. Just start with love.
I don't know.
Do you know what I mean? Like
sometimes it's so hard. Like,
I know. I listen, and you're not going to always succeed. And look, I get it, but like, the only way to handle your problems is to handle your problems.
No,
and I feel like the more money people have, the more they look for people outside themselves to handle their problems. And I'm not suggesting they shouldn't get help or seek help, but if they're looking for the help to be the fix, they're probably never going to succeed like they didn't with Nick.
No, I know. I mean, like, I remember being a teenager very clearly, and every single teenager, I feel like their primary struggle is a struggle for independence, and they're really clumsy at it, and sometimes they're assholes about it, and like everybody's just trying to figure out how to be independent. And the best parents are the ones who figure that out, and they know how to guide kids towards independence. And sometimes parents are like just jerks, and they'll send their kids to these troubled teen industry, camps and shit, because they want their kids to follow rules and they're trying to dominate them and they're just total assholes. But I remember I had a few friends when I was growing up that were absolute hellions to their very nice, very caring, very accommodating parents who just couldn't there was nothing that they could do with these kids. Because my friends, I remember being like, you guys are being fucking jerks to your nice parents. They're the same kids who were jerks to like the fucking math teacher in school when we're all just sitting there trying to learn, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's just, there's some kids who are just like, I don't know what kind of help they need, but they need something. It's like none of the adults around them can do anything.
Yeah, of course, there's medical diagnosis and there's medications that people really do need, you know, whether it's antipsychotics or antidepressants that you have to use in these situations until something better comes along or until the world wakes up and uses things like psilocybin or whatever, you know, or if they're able to figure out that psilocybin is even truly effective in these cases and so on. So I get all that. And I'm not like saying anything about that. I'm saying that like, you know, and again, that's a medical diagnosis, right? So if you have a kid who has a medical diagnosis, he had, what is it?
Schizoaffective disorder.
Yeah, schizoaffective disorder.
I learned so much about this. So apparently it's schizophrenia combined with some sort of personality disorder.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so it's a bad combination.
So that's what Nick Reiner had.
That's what Nick Reiner had. And so in that situation, you're obviously going to work with medication and so on and so forth. So it's hard to imagine, but I think that, and this isn't me being critical of Rob Reiner. I can't possibly be critical of people I don't know. But if your kid is suffering from both addiction or substance abuse and these medically diagnosed disorders, then, and you can see that shipping him off to these or her to these 30-day camps aren't working.
Right.
You know, again, we like go back to that old cliche of the definition of insanity, right? Is repeating the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Like it just felt like if they said something like 18 trips to rehab. Like, I don't know, I'm thinking around 6 or 7, it ain't working.
Well, I mean, there was a social worker who explained this in one of these documentaries where she's being like tailed by a film crew as she's going around and one of these like.
Can I interrupt you for a second?
Yeah.
Do you ever see the movie Lorenzo's Oil?
No.
Lorenzo's Oil is brilliant. Nick Nolte.
I know what it is. Yeah.
It's Nick Nolte, right? And I forget who the brilliant movie, right? And it's about a father whose son has, I can't remember what the disease is now, but it's the one that eats away the myelin. And so he's a perfectly functioning kid, and then the myelin starts going away. And once the myelin starts going away, you know, the electronic signals the synapses has no organization, and so he starts losing all the functions. And so this whole time they're trying to like get help from their doctor, and they can't. So they go on their own like quest, their own mission to find out what's really wrong, and they end up curing the disease before it's too late for their son by the time it happens. It's a fucking fantastic movie. Oh my God, I loved it. Lorenzo's Oil. And it doesn't matter that I spoiled it because
I bet it's a tearjerker.
It's fucking great. It's such a great movie. It's just a great movie. You know, 18 times. And again, I'm not fucking criticizing Rob Reiner. I don't know what it's like to be so rich and to have so many of your problems solved by outside help. But I'm saying, like, 18 times.
Okay, but
like,
what I was saying.
Why not get triggered by that? Like,
okay, but listen.
Yeah, but anyway, Lorenzo's Oil is kind of what I'm saying. Like, go that way. You know, be triggered in that way. Like, if I had a kid, I am absolutely sure if I had a kid that had these problems, I would become obsessed in that way. And they're like, we have to fix this because what they're doing isn't.
Yeah, but it sounds like you're contradicting yourself because
How?
sending him to rehab 80 times was their attempt to try and fix this. You can't
No,
help somebody
the
who's
point
still
that I'm
using.
saying that, you know, at some point you have to recognize when something doesn't work. Like it
No,
didn't
I understand.
work.
Okay, so the film
It's
crew,
like he was like doing takes.
let me just say this, okay? So the film crew who was following the social worker who was out and she was engaging with the people, it was like Skid Row or something, a lot of addicts out in the street, and she was going to try to find some of these people that she had been in contact with, and she was trying to make sure that she was distributing Narcan and making sure that everybody in the community knew how to save each other. And the film crew was like, you know, you'll often get this question to these social workers who are doing this sort of community outreach. Why are you trying to save these people when they're not really even trying to save themselves? And she said, well, you can't get sober if you're already dead. Like, so we try to make sure that they stay alive so that they have the opportunity to achieve sobriety. Somewhere down the line, They may like to achieve sobriety,
Yeah.
and they cannot do that if we don't save them in the moment when they're dying. So this is why we keep doing this. We're trying to save lives.
Yeah.
And so it just makes a lot of sense that they would continue to try and get him sober so they could, like, they couldn't treat his mental disorder until he was sober. So sobriety was always the first step. All these times, the first step, the first step. And they kept doing it so that they could maybe get to the second step. That makes a ton of sense to me. If somebody has the resources to send their kid to rehab 80 times, I don't know why they would choose not to. You know, you're not just going to let them flounder because you want to get to the second step, which is making sure that your brain chemistry is regulated enough to be assessed so you can get on the drugs that actually make you well.
Well, my opinion stands. The reason you don't is because it's not working. The reason you don't is because they're not getting the same results. And then I think my biggest concern then in that situation would be whether or not there's more damage being done. Yes?
Right.
That concerns me more than anything. Like, is there more damage being done? And like, because if they're not fixing it, are we getting worse? And, you know, so that would be my biggest concern. And, you know, who knows what's real, what's not real. But if I'm to believe any of the reports I'm hearing, which there's no reason really to believe them, but it's all I have, then it sounds like, and, you know, certainly that night, the night of their murder, they had the argument that was very loud and public at the party. Like, I'm just saying, like, I just feel like there was, I wonder if, you know, maybe a change of approach. And by approach, I mean like, well, for example, there was, you know, I think you were mentioning this, but, you know, they had those therapists who were saying like 30 days is just not enough, you know, because you have to get them off the drugs and then go through
No, I know, but here's
medicating them and trying out the meds
right.
before you can release them and know that they're stable.
And
the problem is that you need 30 days alone to get them off the addiction.
Yeah.
So if they're addicted, they're going in addicted. You got to handle each thing separately. Mm-hmm. And they were doing it all at once in one big bang. I should go out the door.
And the reason why is because Nick Reiner was sick of being institutionalized. And so he would not comply with institutionalization. He wanted to be released on outpatient only. That was the only thing he was going to comply with. Yeah. So once he became an adult, they could only do it this one way.
Yeah.
It's fucked up, man. It's a shitty situation, but like you can't. There's no solution because you know you have these treatment protocols, but you also have to respect the patient's autonomy, right? You can't just like strap them down to a bed and make them stay there for 60 days. You know that doesn't work. This is really adorable. I was scrolling through the chat and when you hadn't turned on the volume, Potato said, "I'm missing important banter." Isn't that cute?
It was good banter. We were kind of off to a good start.
The Junk Farm said, "I'm positive this is the best part we can't hear too."
You guys are so funny, dude.
Potato said they redacted the sound.
They redacted the sound. Redact. No redactments today, guys. We got the objections. We got everything. We're not going to read the introductions. All right? Concerned Citizen, what's up? That's so great to see you, man. Happy New Year. I think this is the first time we've seen you this year. It's great to see you.
Okay. So I am just going to... Should I just pull this up and start reading then?
Deanna, don't go.
What happened?
Deanna's upset. Don't go. Just
upset. Why?
Because I guess she got into I can't follow it. She and Cosmic Urgency are having an argument or something, and I think, Deanna, that if you don't get along with Cosmic Urgency, just block them. And Cosmic Urgency, I know you're probably not meaning to cause any trouble, but if you just don't cause trouble if you are, and if you're incidentally causing trouble and you know how to stop it, then stop it.
Yeah, Potato says, "Deanne, you can click on their username and block them so you won't see their messages."
Yeah, just stay, Deanne. You can just click, just ignore, just don't let him ruin your good time. And I'm not saying you are Cosmic Urgency. I'm not taking a side. I'm saying that Deanna, if you think he's ruining your good time.
This is a total jerk move. Cosmic Urgency said, "Deanne, the Karen, invoking my name again and playing victim later." Like, don't do that, bro.
Why are you doing that?
Nobody needs you to do that.
Come on, bro. we have to be mindful. Here's the thing. It's hard to do, right? Like it's hard to do, especially in chats, is to recognize what you're dealing with. Like I'll bet you any amount of money that Cosmic Urgency face to face with Deanne would never say that.
Yeah, it's true.
I'll bet you all the money that I have, which is sweet fuck all.
2 pennies.
I'll bet all of it though.
But they're shiny.
They are shiny, that if Cosmic Urgency was sitting across from her, he would never say that. And you guys got off to whatever wrong foot you guys got onto or whatever it was. And you needn't carry it on. Life is too short, man. My cousin fucking Heath, 58 years old, dropped dead, heart attack. Boom, it's over. 58. 58's young, man. That's young, bro. I'm looking, my dad's sitting at 84. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That motherfucker walks to the bar at 84. You know what I'm saying? So, but you don't know if you're going to make it to 84. Mm-hmm. You might fucking die tonight.
Don't say that.
Don't die tonight after having been shitty to somebody else. We just don't need to be shitty to each other, especially here. This is like a don't be shitty to each other zone. And it's like you can say, oh yeah, Dale, what'd you say to Guilty Angel or whatever? But the truth is I wasn't really shitty to Guilty Angel that night. I was just angry at her for trying to mischaracterize somebody she didn't know, and I was being hypersensitive to it. And so I got pissed off and I shouted. She took it. She took it like an attack, and never came back, which was silly because we loved her. But sometimes you turn love away. It's bizarre to me. I think it's the Ava brothers that have that great line. I can't think of it now, but it's about like not turning love away when it's sitting right in front of you. It's like, there's love. Don't turn it away. Now we're not talking about romantic love necessarily, Maybe they were. Anyway, I'm babbling. Deanna, don't go. Just don't go.
Yeah, just block each other.
Just block each other.
You don't like each other, that's fine. There's technology for that.
Look, Cosmic Urgency's a good guy. If he's being a jerk, he's been around long enough. You should know that he's a good guy. I think he's a good guy. And that doesn't mean he's being good. That's not what I'm saying, Deanne. I'm just saying if he's having a bad moment, he's a good guy having a bad moment. Like if we can go through those kinds of steps, then good guys can have bad moments and not lose all their fucking friends. Do you know what I mean? Like, because we're not perfect. We're going to live our life imperfectly. And, if people try to hold us to any standard of perfection, and the other thing I would say, Deanne, is I don't know. Well, you take care of yourself. That's what I'll say about you, to you. Just take care of yourself. And I think part of that is if you can, and I understand triggers and I understand all that. So that's why I'm capital if you can let it roll off your shoulder, let it roll off your shoulder, because taking care of yourself is the most important thing. If you can't, if it's triggering, then you have to take care of yourself the best way you can. And the first step is to block that person from your view. All right. I hope you'll stay because I hope you'll both stay because you're both fucking awesome.
This is true.
All right. And Cosmic, you don't have to say that shit though. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to, and she's not a Karen. She's fucking lovely. Mm-hmm. I mean, how has Deanne been anything other than lovely? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You guys got whatever, chewing at each other's fucking barking and whatever. Stop it. You're both lovely people. Would you just stop it?
I love when you get that look on your face. You're all squinty.
I just like, why? What?
I know.
If it's like, this life is way too short. Seriously, like my cousin Heath, he fucking dropped dead at 58. And just every time I'm reminded by these kinds of things, like Heath was just fucking going to work. He wants to feed his friend or his family. You know what I mean? Maybe his friend too. And he can't now. And he didn't know that, and who knows if he got into an argument beforehand or who know, whatever, life is just fucking too short. All right. Enough of that shit. Where are we? What are we doing? We're an hour in here already.
So should I read this deposition?
Ladies and gentlemen, day 1.
So is each day a different case? case that he's being...
You'll see the next day, they're separated by the indexes.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
So it seems like that he's being questioned first by Miss Shaw, Miss Marin Shaw.
Yeah, who is Stephanie Jones,
representing Stephanie Jones and Jones Works.
Right.
But on the second day, is that Gottlieb?
I think so.
Okay, cool. So
they might have gotten a bit of the first day.
So Lively's attorneys are in attendance.
No, you're not muted. Cosmic, what's wrong with you, bro? You're not. What do you mean you're done with this joint? That's so weird. What do you mean? We're just hanging out. Are we a joint? No, you're not muted.
I don't think it's weird to ask people not to have like conflict in the chat. Like that's kind of normal, right? Like
what, conflict in the chat?
Yeah. No, I mean like to ask people not to start conflict in the chat.
Yeah.
Right? It's not weird, right?
No, it's not weird.
Okay.
No.
All right, so let's move on.
Yeah, exactly. I want everybody to be happy, God damn it. Why is that so fucking bad? Okay, go ahead.
Let me get to the part where... So Baldoni says he's never testified in a court of law before today. I have to figure out how to read this without trying to scroll too much between pages.
You want me to grab your laptop?
No, I got it. Okay, let's run through some of the ground rules for depositions so that we can all be operating on the same wavelength. Do you understand that you're under oath today, in the same effect as you would be in a court of law? He does. And you are required today to give full, complete, and truthful testimony. Do you understand that? Yes. Is there any reason you would not be able to give full, complete, and truthful testimony today? He says there is not. Is there anything that would impede your ability to recall past...
You can probably zip past all of this if you can.
Okay, great.
And we can take this little dead air in between.
He talks about how they're like, if you need to take a break, he's like, I do drink a lot of water.
Yeah, it's all nonsense. Yeah.
Thanks, Baldoni. It's good to know.
It's a weird thing to like. I'll tell you what. If you haven't sat through a deposition, it's a weird thing.
I am very.
You kind of
yuck.
You kind of like. And they the other side tries to make you feel a little bit like they're taking care of you. It's kind of manipulation to me. Like I sat there, and I was like, oh yeah, you really fucking care about whether or not I'm comfortable.
Yeah, they're trying to build rapport, right?
Yeah.
So that you'll be more amenable to answering their questions. Okay. So he was they're asking him about his preparation prior to his depositions. We don't care about that, right?
Well, only if it yielded some real juicy stuff like, yeah, me and Jamie Heath did flashcards.
I have the address that was supposed to be redacted. So that's here. I'm not supposed to be seeing that. So I'm not going to read it. He is no longer a California resident, though. I can tell you that much.
He isn't? Nope. Oh, no. What will California do? Where'd he go? Texas?
No, he moved to Nashville.
Okay. Yeah, Nashville. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm telling you, he's going to start making faith-based movies.
Oh, you're fucking right. Dude, you've been calling this from the very beginning.
I was like, that's where he's going to be.
Yeah.
Okay, so he did establish that during the time of all of the events in this lawsuit, pertinent to this lawsuit, he was a California resident, which is really crucial when we're talking about him recording phone calls and stuff. California is a two-party consent state.
It is. And if you're in a one-party consent state and you're planning to record somebody from a two-party consent state, the two-party consent state prevails.
Yeah, the stricter
rule prevails.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just trying to skip. They're doing all this establishing. Did you go back through your phone in preparation for this deposition and review anything in your phone? He says no. He's attended other depositions in this case. To list them for me, please. Okay, Justin Baldoni says, in person he attended Miss Lively. On Zoom, never full depositions, but in part, Jennifer Abel, Melissa Nathan, Stephanie Jones, Jenny Slate. I listened to a little bit of Isabella Ferrara.
Ferrar.
I know, the stenographer, I guess, got that wrong. Ange Gianetti, Alex Sachs, John Greenstein, and a little Colleen Hoover. And I may be forgetting someone.
Albert Einstein.
He said a little bit of Katie Case. He doesn't believe that he attended Brianna Coslow's. So before his deposition, he has heard all of these other people's testimony.
Brianna is with Jed, isn't she? I believe that's the Jed.
I think she works for TAG.
Oh, okay.
But the
She might have interfaced with.
I think
with
it's
Jed.
interesting because he still plays pretty dumb about some of the topics that have been explained in these other depositions. I think that's interesting.
What's so interesting is that he's attending all these depositions before his own, as a defendant he can, and but it is pretty wild that he gets to sort of shape his story around that.
He says he has not read any of the transcripts from the depositions. He hasn't reviewed any of those prior to his deposition. Did you speak with anyone else about the subject of your deposition apart from attorneys? He says no.
This is all standard, by the way. Every time you sit down for your first deposition or your first day of being deposed, they're going to ask you if anyone tried to influence what you're trying to say. So you can kind of skip through all that if you want to. Yeah.
He says he didn't talk to Jamie Heath about it. Let's see. He said, okay.
There's really not much to talk about unless you're going to sit there and be like, you prepare with your attorney.
He said he did talk to Jennifer Abel. He said, my family, my wife, we had a prayer gathering last night with a lot of friends, so they were aware that I was being deposed, but that's all I can think of at the moment. Yeah. He said he didn't speak to Melissa Nathan about it. I did speak to Steve Sarowitz. We were together here at his deposition. Question. When you spoke to Steve Sarowitz about your deposition, was there an attorney present? He said yes. When you spoke to Jen Abel about your deposition, was there an attorney present? He said no, that was over the phone. What did you discuss with Jen Abel about your deposition?
She takes out the knife, the fork. Okay, I'll eat. Tell me what you said.
The attorney?
Yeah. She's like, was there a lawyer? There was no lawyer? Okay, great. Napkin.
You tuck it in here? That's really funny. Justin Baldoni's answer to the question, what did you discuss with Jen Abel about your deposition, is it wasn't a conversation about the deposition. It was like, you're going to do great. And she was letting me know she was going to be there, but there was no content that was discussed. She might have just said to keep being honest and shine your light or something to that extent. They've all learned how to talk to him. And when you spoke to Jamie Heath about your deposition, was there any attorney present? He said, Jamie and I speak all the time, so it may have come up at one point when it was just us or our families together, but I don't know. Question, can you recall anything about your conversation with Jamie Heath about your deposition at any point in time where there were not attorneys present? Baldoni says, most of the relationship with me and Jamie is bolstering each other and just reminding, like a brother reminds me who I am.
You got this. No, you got this. No, you got this, bro. I fucking love you. I love you too. You're the real one. No, you're the real one, bro.
Exactly. I can't think of any other details. It's more like positive encouragement. These are pretty intense things, so kind of like a friend or a coach or you got this. Oh my God, Dale. I've been saying this from the fucking beginning with these two, bro. They only exist in each other's lives to launder each other's previous bad behavior. So the entire time you see if you ever watch Man Enough, that's what they're constantly doing. Where Justin Baldoni is like, yeah, I've really harmed women in the past, and but I'm a work in progress. He loves to say that phrase, but I'm a work in progress. And Jamie Heath's like, yeah, man, you're a good dude because you recognize it, you're willing to admit it, you talk about the difficult things, and you're moving forward.
He actually stops the world first. Jamie Heath is going to be like, wait a second. I really want to get this out. So I want your attention on this, okay? I've known you for a long time now.
I know, it's always like this.
And
it's overly sincere, intense.
I have seen you grow like an oak tree. Like an oak tree. All right? And now you give out those little acorns that we all get to eat. Okay? You're special to me.
That's what it's like, dude. It's so weird. But it's what do they call it? They call it therapy bypassing or something. No, spiritual bypassing is what the term is.
Spiritual.
But he basically gets to bypass any real reconciling.
Is it like a scapegoating of your? Is that what that is?
No, it's you get to bypass any reconciliation of your actual behavior in the past by just surrounding yourself with people who are like, no, dude, you would never act like that if you weren't like not yourself, you know, like you're a better person than this. You know?
I'm looking it up because I'm like, I've never heard of this. You always do this, man. I've known this woman. We have been as close as two people can fucking get, two human beings can get. We spend every minute of every day together. I'm not even fucking kidding about that.
14 years.
For 14 years. Like our relationship, most relationships are like, oh yeah, we have great long. We've been together for 50 years. But you guys saw each other like 6 hours a day. We see each other until our eyes close, and then when our eyes open, oh, it's you again. So, and yet all this time you'll just pull out these fucking terms. Oh, that's blah, blah, blah. Where the fuck did you get that from, Angela? I don't remember you getting educated. I was sitting here the whole time. Spiritual bypassing is using spiritual beliefs or practice to avoid dealing with difficult emotions, unresolved psychological issues.
That's what they do for each other.
Or life's challenges, essentially putting a glossy filter over deeper problems instead of facing them. Coined by psychologist John Wellwood, it involves tactics like excessive positivity, emotional numbing, intellectualizing pain, or claiming spiritual superiority to sidestep personal growth, shadow work, or accountability.
Yes, superiority to sidestep personal growth. Shadow work. Dude, if anybody needs shadow work, it's Baldoni. He is being dogged by his fucking emerging subconscious material. Is just bubbling up at the surface, and he doesn't understand why he's acting fucking weird all the time. But if you see, like,
that's a really neat thing.
It's interesting when you see that his text messages where he's like soliciting some sort of like comfort from his prayer group. He'll literally say things like, this woman, Blake Lively, says I made her feel unsafe. And everybody in the chat is like not even curious about what the context of that kind of statement is.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. In no group of friends that I've ever had throughout my entire life, did I not have like at least one nosy friend who was like, what do you mean she felt unsafe? Like, what'd you do, bro? You know? But none of them are asking. And Jamie Heath doesn't ask. Like, it's all just so superficial, and they just completely bypass any of this like actual interest in what the real consequences or what the real patterns were that created this behavior in the past. And they just are like, well, you're a better person for admitting it and willing to engage with it, which they don't, and then moving forward on a new path. You're a good person. So he never has to think otherwise. Anyway, that's just
Concerned
crazy.
Citizen said, I'm not a betting man, but my money falls on Jamie Heath. He's going to fall on the sword as a spiritual martyr for his brothers now.
Well, I mean, like,
Hey, man.
But that's how they talk, and it's like, what does that even mean?
They're fucking, it's just the weirdest thing for me. I just
Anyway,
don't.
I just can't believe he admits it.
Yeah.
So the answer couldn't, I mean, the question couldn't have been more very direct, and he just says all this other shit. Can you recall anything about your conversation with Jamie Heath about your deposition at any point in time where there were not attorneys present? And he just offers this other thing.
And he offers this complete other
Most
thing.
of the relationship with me and Jamie is bolstering each other and just reminding, like a brother reminds me who I am. I can't think of any other details. It's more like positive encouragement. These are pretty intense things, so kind of like a friend or a coach or you got this. That's why they keep each other around. Okay, question. Have you spoken to Jamie about this deposition? She's like, Justin, just listen.
This is throughout this whole deposition. She is like, okay, but can you answer the question that I asked, not the one that you wanted to answer?
Yeah. Have you spoken to Jamie about this deposition? His answer is no, I'm first, so it's been focused on mine. Question, how would you characterize your relationship with Jamie Heath? He said, Justin says, he's one of my best, closest friends. How long has he been one of your best,
If I
closest
could, I
friends?
would. You know what I mean?
If I could, I would.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not going to go any further. All right?
How long has he been one of your best, closest friends? Justin Baldoni says, I've been married, I would say 15, 14 years, maybe 14 years. Why does he say I've been married? That's strange. I don't get that. But anyway, him and Jamie Heath have been friends for maybe 14 years. Question, were you friends before you began working together, or did you work together before you became friends? Justin Baldoni says, we were friends before we began working together.
It all started in the bathtub.
Question, how would you characterize your relationship with Jen Abel? Baldoni says, Well, she was my publicist first, and then I think through, I mean, I like to think of the people I work with as friends. So I would have considered her a friend. I think through this experience we've gotten closer, but I would have considered her my publicist.
She's there.
Yeah, and I guess he doesn't know about all the shit talking that she's done behind his back.
Fuck, man.
That's rough.
This guy, man. Well, because he lives in
That's
this
so
he lives in this
sad.
bubble where he doesn't like everybody brings him the information. He doesn't go
I
and
know,
seek it.
but like for a guy who's
That's at least how it appears.
for a guy who spent his whole memoir talking about how he always feels like he's under attack, it's really sad to think about like how he considers her a friend and she was like backstabbing him. And then this one, how would you characterize your relationship with Melissa Nathan? Baldoni says, a friendly publicist who, you know, we don't know each other very well. I think this is the second time we met in person, but like everyone else in this case, I think that the bond of being in the situation we're in has maybe brought us closer together, but friendly.
Oh, that's just so naive. You're so naive. What a fucking naive thing to say. What a naive way to think. Like, dude, you are in the middle of a chess match.
Bro, you're her mark.
Fuck. And there it is.
And there it is.
You know, there's the whole reason why you're her mark.
Question. Prior to the deposition, did you have any role in helping to gather your documents, emails, texts, voice notes to be produced by your attorneys as discovery in this case? She's going to rephrase the question. Are you aware that some of your documents, text messages, emails, etc., have been given to the plaintiffs in this case as part of the discovery process? He is being advised by his attorney, don't answer that to the extent it calls for information provided by your attorneys to you. Justin Baldoni's answer is yes.
They say that shit even when they know there's nothing there.
Yeah.
Fucking
Do you have any
performative
role in
bullshit.
helping to gather those materials? He said, I think so. What was your role? Baldoni says, I had to hand over my phone multiple times to, I don't know, I think they're called like data scientists. That's what I can remember right now. There were, I think I had looked through for various emails. I don't remember the content of, to just make sure that people had everything, or texts that people had everything they needed. What is your preferred method of communication? I don't mean in an existential sense, the lawyer continues. I mean in a practical sense. Do you like to text? Do you like to email? Do you like to call on the phone? Justin Baldoni answers, it depends. Am I in a lawsuit or not in a lawsuit when I'm communicating? Attorney clarifies, let's start with a lawsuit. Baldoni says, okay, text, but I'm pretty bad at it these days. Question, so do you use Apple iMessage to communicate? So you do use Apple iMessage to communicate, right? Text message? He said, yeah. Do you use email to communicate? Baldoni says, I get a lot of emails, but I'm not good at responding to them. I do respond at times, but it's generally pretty short. He is narrating so much.
Yeah, haha.
Why?
That's his response. Yeah, haha. Send.
That would be me in a deposition.
Nope.
You wouldn't
Send.
hear- you
Okay.
wouldn't hear anything
Send.
from me. Okay. Do you use WhatsApp messages to communicate? He said, I'm on WhatsApp threads with various people. Do you use Signal to communicate? He says, since the lawsuit, I do, yeah, but not before the lawsuit. Since the lawsuit, who have you used Signal to communicate with? He said, mostly my attorneys, the people that are the defendants, some friends. Let me just skip through this. So Justin Baldoni does not use Telegram. He does send voice notes. Do you ever record phone calls that you're a participant in? He says, I certainly have from time to time.
Yeah, this might lead to I was reading where he talked about his insecurity and how he felt like he was in fight or flight and he had to like start recording people.
She was like, why do you record calls? And he was like,
Because he's in a two-party state and he's essentially breaking the law.
I recall that we read this part before because it was released. Do you record phone calls frequently? He says no. Did you ever record any phone calls or Zooms with the participants in this case? Either Blake Lively case or the Stephanie Jones case? He says yes. How many times would you estimate that you recorded phone calls or Zooms? He says maybe 4 times, maybe it might be 3. Question, am I correct to understand that's 4 times ever that you recorded phone calls or Zooms with any of the participants or witnesses or people involved in the events that underlie either of these litigations? Justin Baldoni says, I don't do it often, so I imagine it was around 2 to 4. I'd have to take a lot of take a lot of pausing to really think about that, which I think it's between 2 and 4. Why don't we say 4? How about in-person meetings? He said, one that I can think of. What's that one? Baldoni says, I recorded an improv acting session between Jenny Slate and Miss Lively that he was also a participant in. And where was that located? He says, at our production offices in Hoboken, New Jersey.
I used to think that was a joke name. When I first heard the name Hoboken, I was like, what a cool and creative joke name. He was like, no, it's a real place. No, it's not. Hoboken.
Yeah, they have a...
Nobody would call something Hoboken.
I saw the film Schenectady, New York, before I ever knew it was actually a place. And I was like, it's a what? They named it what? Miss Jenny Slate was located in New Jersey. So he said that Baldoni says that she was there. And then, but Miss Lively was not, that she was located at her house, which is in New York. Okay, question. Other than that one in-person meeting that you can think of, can you think of any other in-person meetings that you recorded that have involved any of the participants in the events underlying these cases or had anything to do with the events underlying these cases? At the moment, I can't. Are you aware that your counsel produced us last night 4 recordings? That's a little fishy that they just produced him the night before his deposition when they had already deposed all these other people. What the fuck with that?
Yeah, it's pretty. Sounds pretty fucked up.
Are you aware that your counsel produced to us last night 4 recordings that appear to be recordings by you or phone calls or in-person meetings having to do with this case? Baldoni says, I would imagine that they would. Are you aware that they were produced last night? And he's being advised not to answer, and he does not answer. Baldoni says, I can't answer.
That's so interesting because like the answer might have been, I gave it to them in like whatever, July.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God. That's probably true.
So they're like, you shut your mouth, son.
Yeah, because they would have collected all of that with everything else.
Alyssa's here. What's up, Alyssa?
Hello, Alyssa.
So good to see you again.
Question. Do you recall recording a phone call between you and any of the following? Ange Giannetti, Josh Greenstein, or Todd Black? Justin Baldoni says, Ange, what?
Todd Black.
Mm-hmm. Justin Baldoni says, Ange Giannetti. I don't know if Todd Black was on it, but I know Ange, yeah. Tell me what you recall about that phone call with Ange.
Ange. By the way, if you guys are enjoying Angela do this reading, give us a like. We could really use the help. Continue.
Tell me what you recall about the phone call with Ange. Justin Baldoni says, I haven't listened to them. What I recall is feeling scared and almost feeling like what was happening was like I needed a witness because what was happening was just it felt kind of crazy, but I don't remember the content of the call. I assume it had to do with figuring out how to get through a difficult shoot. Question, what was it at the time that felt kind of crazy to you? He goes, I don't know exactly what call or when it was recorded, so I don't know if I can answer that without more details. Do you remember why you recorded that phone call? Baldoni says, again, I just need to know what call you're referring to. Question, do you have a memory of a call that you recorded with Ange Giannetti? He said, I have a vague memory, yes. With respect to that call that you have a vague memory of.
God, it's just like, how fucking hard is it?
I know. This is what it was like when in the deposition. In your case, it was DiCaprio was, although it was very clear DiCaprio was like pretending like he didn't understand or couldn't follow. But Ethan Suplee continuously got like what I thought was legitimately confused.
Yeah, no,
poor guy.
Yeah, that guy was bumping into walls.
Yeah.
The whole time.
But the attorneys were like,
okay, let's go over your ABCs one more time before we get this. You get the foundation.
Okay. With respect to that call that you have a vague memory of, do you have any recollection of why you recorded that call? Justin Baldoni says, I think I felt powerless and scared and kind of lonely, I think.
I'm trying to figure out, like, so what, was he going to play the call to himself afterwards? Like it was a friend? Was he going to like lay in bed and put the call on beside his pillow and he can just hear the call? Like, how does that fulfill loneliness?
To him, this seems like a very valid answer.
What I do when I feel lonely is I watch like CNN or like
No, you don't.
Yeah, or I'll turn on like just some like Jerry Springer, You know, yeah, just to feel,
not gonna fix
life
it.
is all around me.
Jerry Springer.
Sure, yeah.
No, what that would do is like wouldn't make you feel lonely anymore because you're like, oh, I'd never want to hang out with people. Look at all how horrible people are.
Loneliness is king.
Yeah, fuck. Oh my God. Why you recorded that call? He said, I think I felt powerless and scared and kind of lonely, I think.
Lonely, lonely, lonely.
And like, he just thinks that that's an answer to that question. And so it's like, what is going on with his head? I don't know how we can understand Justin Baldoni when he is so, who thinks like this? I don't know what his problem is.
It doesn't get any better, I don't think. This deposition is really juicy.
The next question is, what did you intend to do with that recording? He said, nothing. I didn't know.
That's what I mean. Like, was it something you were going to like, how does that cure loneliness? I wish he asked that.
Powerless,
Was it shock?
scared, and kind of lonely.
Yeah. I just wonder, like, how does recording the thing help your loneliness?
I don't know. I kind of wish that she would ask.
I mean, it's a genuine curiosity I have immediately. Like, I just want to know because maybe I need to record some calls if I'm feeling lonely. Like, hang on one second. I got to record this for posterity. I don't know.
I don't know.
Go ahead.
What did you intend to do with that recording? He said, nothing. I didn't know if I would ever need it one day. Have you needed it? Baldoni says, I haven't looked at it or listened to it, so apparently not.
It's kind of like a TiVo.
Did you ever tell her that you were recording the call? He said, I didn't. So the next question is, where were you located when you recorded the call? He said, I don't know. I would have to know the date of the recording, and then I could try to reverse engineer it. The question, from your vague memory of doing this, give me your best estimate of where you were located. Is it possible you were in California? He says it's absolutely possible. Question, where was Ange located when you were recording that call? He said, I assume she was in California. There you go. You can't do that. You can't one side record a call.
Jaywalker.
In a two-party consent state. Question, do you have a memory of recording any calls with Josh Greenstein? He says no. Do you have a memory of recording any calls with Todd Black?
Josh Greenstein is his former agent at WME, by the way.
Oh, is that true?
Mm-hmm.
And then Todd Black is another producer on It Ends With Us. And he says that he doesn't doesn't have a memory of recording any calls, but only if Todd were also on the call with Ange.
And it's interesting because part of the reason why he might be asking about Todd Greenstein is because that is the agent that Jamie Heath recorded.
Oh.
That, we've heard so much about, and that Jamie Heath then conveyed to Justin Baldoni that Blake Lively, and I don't believe this for any fucking, like, not even for a beat of my heart, that Justin Baldoni, that Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds threatened to leave WME unless they signed this statement.
Unless Baldoni
not the 17-point statement, the statement. Remember the statement that they offered up?
Yeah, the draft statement where he was supposed to admit why they were walking separately at the premiere.
Yeah.
Right. It's really weird too, because how is Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds leaving WME somehow an ultimatum for Justin Baldoni, who has been taking great pains to try and bury Blake Lively. So if she leaves her big agency, if she's suddenly unrepresented, somehow that's like bad to him.
Yeah, I mean, obviously
married.
there would be probably a cause for action if she left and then they fired Justin Baldoni as a result of that. But it wouldn't even make any sense because, like I said to the people in that Reddit thread, it was like, why would you get rid of a director with a billionaire who's had all this box office success just because these two people leave? Because they know those two people are, they know. Like, everybody's just going to go to another agency, like, presuming that.
Yeah, there's three big at that level that
four,
all
but
compete
yeah.
with each other, right?
Yeah, massive.
And they poach each other's clients all the time?
The top three, that's true. There's really, but Innovate's really huge, for example. They just dropped Tim Busfield, for example, from his representation. So, but yes, CAA, UTA, and WME are the three bigs. And fucking Justin Baldoni would walk his billionaire into any one of those studios if there's no reputation preceding them, and close a deal.
We got to get you a billionaire.
If anybody knows a billionaire
who wants to be walked into one of those agencies behind Dale Wheatley.
No. We'll create like a a Doubtfire situation. You know what I mean? Because I'm blacklisted. We'll get like a front guy. You know, like leader of the band.
You would not be blacklisted if you had a billionaire.
It's true. I wouldn't. You know how many fucking people would take a meeting with me immediately?
Like, I never believed a word of it.
No. Hey, listen. I'm not against Leo, but I'm not against you either. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm not against Leo and I'm not against you. I am Switzerland on this. Switzerland's a good place. If you've never been, it's great. They have great snow-capped mountains. That's all I know about Switzerland. Oh, and I guess they have chocolate and watches. And healthcare.
Okay, so he does not. This next part is about recording phone calls. So I don't know. They're just going down the list. He does not recall ever recording a call with Stephanie Jones, Jen Abel, Melissa Nathan. Other than the improv session with Jenny Slate, did he record a call with Blake Lively? He says no. They're asking him about Tim Miller. He says, I don't even know who that is. Okay.
Who the fuck's Tim Miller?
Do you remember others? He says yes.
I swear a lot, huh? It's my dad's fault.
I know. I was watching back. Like, we both swear a lot. We got potty mouths.
It's my dad's fault. What do you think your problem is? Is it me? Is it me rubbing off on you?
No, I've always had a foul mouth.
You're a foul-mouthed woman, aren't you?
Yeah. Because
all right, then.
I was raised by hippies. I don't care.
Male Cheatley.
Okay, so he recorded a part of a call with Sean Levy. Who is Sean Levy? Baldoni says Sean Levy is a director and apparently a very close friend of Miss Lively and Mr. Reynolds. What do you recall about that call?
Sean Levy?
Yes.
I'll look this dude up right now.
It's Sean, S-H-A-W-N.
Is it?
Yeah, L-E-V-Y. What do you recall about that call? He says, I recall he wanted to speak to me, and as we began talking, I got the feeling that he was calling to kind of adjust or course correct, which made me feel a little uncomfortable. The question, adjust or course correct from what? He said, I don't know. This is Justin Baldoni in a nutshell. All the time, he's doing this. He got a call from a hugely successful director.
This guy's huge.
I know. This is what it
$3.5 billion
like.
In box office.
This was the result of Blake Lively opening up her
Jim
network.
Cameron's like, I did that in one movie.
Oh my God. Blake Lively opened up her network to him, right? As like a new director, she was connecting him with all of these super, super successful people.
He did 42 episodes of Stranger Things.
It's just absurd. So listen, when she said, I have this network of dragons, and she literally said in that text message thread, she said, people benefit from these dragons and they can be your dragons too, is what she said. She offered him access to these huge heavyweights in the industry. Here he is. He gets a call from one of these guys. Oh my God, amazing opportunity, right? This is basically a mentorship because the guy is in a higher level. He's going to advise him about one thing or another. I don't know, but whatever. You'd be like, yeah, dude, whatever you want to tell me, like, I'm game. And what does Justin Baldoni do? He says, I got the feeling that he was calling to kind of adjust or course correct, which made me a little uncomfortable. And when asked course correct for what, he said, I don't know. Why are you feeling uncomfortable? I mean, I can understand feeling like nervous.
By the way, he probably said like, I don't know what.
I don't know why you're calling me is not the reason to make it seem like it's a negative thing, right?
Yeah.
You have been match made with somebody who is a higher level than you.
Like,
and you're
such a higher level. Like,
and Justin Baldoni is so clearly a career guy who wants to rise to the top. I don't know why he saw any of this as a fucking threat. It's so bonkers to me.
Was it Deadpool and Wolverine that had the nice pool?
Oh, yes.
Is it?
Yes, I think so.
He directed that.
I don't know if that was him. I don't know if that was that movie.
Well, if it is, he directed it.
I have no idea.
He directed All the Light We Can't
I don't know.
See.
I've never seen any of the Deadpool movies. Okay, question. What do you mean when you said adjust or course correct? Just explain to me a little bit more, please. And Justin Baldoni, he says, it felt like he was being asked to call me, like he wasn't just calling to talk or check in.
What a fucking baby.
Brother?
So what? Will somebody ask somebody to call me, please?
Yes. Will Sean Levy call
somebody
this guy?
Ask somebody to call me. I don't even call, like, fuck, it doesn't even have to be somebody important. Just ask anybody to call me.
Weird thing to be paranoid about you is so stupid.
Oh my God, that's how Hollywood literally works. It literally works with like, hey, I'm working with this hot new director. He could probably use, because this guy, by the way, just in terms of how prolific this man is, he has as a producer, he has 59 projects. He has 21 upcoming projects as a producer. Listen to how prolific he is. He has 46 directed projects, 29 acting projects.
He's not just looking a gift horse in the mouth, right? He's like returning the gift horse completely. Just outright being like, I didn't ask for this guy to call. It's not like he was just, what did he say? It's not like he wasn't just calling to talk or check in. Brother, why the fuck would he? You don't know him. I felt like he was being asked to call me. Yeah, accept the call. Be grateful.
And look, maybe Pac-Man movie is going to be the best movie ever. Who knows? Maybe Pac-Man was going to be the thing that made fucking Justin Baldoni the next fucking Steven Spielberg. I don't know. But I will just say that this dude has 21 as a producer, he has 21 projects in development.
Seems like a nice guy to know.
So if somebody's be like, hey, I'm going to open up my dragons to you.
Oh my God. And
then they're going to introduce a producer who is this prolific. I mean, this guy's as prolific as anybody in town.
The only thing to be worried about on this call is whether you make a good enough first impression. That's it. That's
I didn't feel like he was sincere and wanted to talk to me because of me. What a fucking baby.
He wasn't just calling to talk or check in. What is the matter with you?
Hey, it's me. I don't really know you. I'm just calling to check in and see if you're okay, honey.
Oh my God.
What are you talking about?
So the lawyer is trying to figure out, like, okay, well, what?
Imagine the value of this guy's time. Like, imagine, like, if Blake Lively says, will you call him and just have a conversation with him?
Right.
And he's going to be like, okay, but I'm going to get busy. I'm going to be sitting there like, hey, how's it going? Oh, cool. Do you have a pet?
Yeah, but
what's your pet's name? That's cool. Does it do tricks?
He's so brainwashed by his fucking prayer group who only ever tells him consolation thoughts that he doesn't know how to actually talk to anybody.
Yeah, and they go on soliloquies about each other.
Anything other than that, he can't deal with. It's like an offense to him. It's so weird. I don't understand this person. So the lawyer is confused too. She's trying to figure out, and what was Sean Levy calling you about? And Baldoni says, the movie It Ends With Us and Miss Lively. Question, was he calling you about the tensions that were arising in relation to the movie? He said no. So what about the movie It Ends With Us was he calling you about? Justin Baldoni says, he was calling to give me advice, it appeared, on how to handle or navigate making a movie with Miss Lively.
It's a great thing, bro.
Yeah, you might have benefited
from
that.
Oh my God.
You might have listened.
It's such a good, like, and this is the thing about people that people don't want to like deal with, or people have a hard time dealing with in the public in general.
Yeah.
Is that, and I've said this so many times on this live when we were doing the TikTok lives. Listen, man, movie stars are a different they're a different level of shit. So you don't deal with them the way you deal with the guy that came in and did 4 readings for you and then did, a fucking bunch of screen tests and then chemistry tests and so on, and then you hired him. This is Blake Lively, A-list actor. Here's what's interesting is in It Ends With Lawsuits today, I responded to somebody talking about, can somebody make sense of this? Can somebody tell me why? Because we'll get this eventually, but in Justin Baldoni's deposition, he talks about how he really didn't have a choice, that Blake Lively was really the only choice that he had. And they were like, can somebody tell me why these guys who own the movie,
yeah, it's
why they didn't get to decide who.
We've seen text messages that are otherwise. They're talking about all these different.
No. I'm just telling you what the actual testimony is. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
But my response to that is, it's because the studio has a short list.
Yeah.
The studio has a short list, and on that short list are names, and those names are the names that they're willing to finance and get behind. And so to market.
Yeah.
It's all about marketing.
Turn a profit.
It's all about butts and seats. It's butts and seats. It's butts and seats. Right. Who's going to see this movie? Especially if they're going to age up, right? Because now they're already knowing that they're going against the grain of the IP, which always starts off badly for IP. As soon as you push against the IP, it's always like they're always, marketing. They're always sitting there fucking, chewing their nails to see what kind of response the sort of, the foundation of these properties is going to have to the creative choices that they're making in the adaptation. Right? Makes sense, right?
Yep. So they asked, when was this phone call? And it was the month before they started filming.
What a fucking idiot, dude. Like, literally this... Like,
why is he paranoid so soon?
The biggest thing is that this is the kind of stuff he can't get from Jamie Heath. This is the stuff he's not going to get from Ange Giannotti.
He's not going to get it from Sarowitz.
And he's not going to definitely get it. He can't. That guy's around for 10 minutes at a time. The only person he would probably get... It's so interesting because... and this is like one of the art forms of producing, one of the big skills of producing is recognizing where someone or something can be improved by the people you already know.
But Justin Baldoni.
Did you hear what I said?
Yes.
This is important because what I'm trying to say is that he's looking at it's very possible that she's looking at Justin Baldoni and saying, wow, this guy has talent, but he needs some grooming for what he's about to encounter. Like, I can't show up on Randy Quaid and Evie Quaid tried to get me to fucking produce a $30 million movie after Dawn's Plum for them. And I was like, dude, I'm not ready for that kind of a budget, man. I don't want that pressure. I'm not ready for that kind of money.
Yeah.
And even though my payday would have been fucking sweet as fuck, and so Randy Quaid's like, oh, Dale, it's the same shit that you did on Dawn's Plum. It's just, times 10 or times 20 or whatever it might be. And I was like, I don't think it is, bro. I don't think it is. And I knew intuitively that it was not. Because it is not. Every time you elevate the game, all the pressure changes. The pressure on you as a creator fucking changes dramatically. That's why, as part of the reason why Woody Allen thrived so well on these low budget films. Even now, he's making movies that are $14 million with big giant names in them. That's unheard of. Yeah. I mean, Leonardo DiCaprio makes $25 million a film in salary. So it's unheard of, right? So even now, adjusted for inflation, Woody Allen's still making these little baby movies. But back in the day, he was making them for six figures, low seven. It wasn't until Harvey Weinstein and Bullets Over Broadway where Woody Allen started to step up in budget and try to sell a marquee name.
I just don't understand how Justin Baldoni recognizes that this is his biggest thing that he's ever done. The first time working with this level of a major studio, the first time working with this level of a big actress, right? Yeah. And I don't know why he thought that he wouldn't have benefited from a phone call and any mentorship from anybody.
It's shocking to me as well.
Why does he think that he doesn't need that?
It's shocking to me as well. And what's more is that he has this person who's just giving him everything, like handing it over. I wish I had that. What is wrong with my mic?
He was calling to give me advice. Justin Baldoni says he was calling to give me advice. It appeared on how to handle or navigate making a movie with Miss Lively.
What a fucking gift.
And this, I believe the phone call was in April of 2023 when they started shooting in May of 2023.
Perfect timing.
Right.
She's like, this guy could use a little grooming. Can you just get on the phone with him and tell him to fucking how to walk this thing through?
It's just very bizarre. So at the time of the phone call, Justin Baldoni was in his office in New Jersey, and he did not inform Sean Levy that he was recording the call. That's not good. Okay, question.
Before you do.
Yeah.
Kayla saying, I thought A-list was basically a household name. Leo was A-list before getting his Oscar. No, A-list is not household name. A-list is box office. It only is box office. They don't give a fuck if nobody, it's all about box office. It's all about how much money they can project. And actually, back in the day, it was all about foreign sales. So what would happen is you attach a big star and I got Leonardo DiCaprio. I already know I can sell 17, 18 million. I know I've got $18 million in the bank from my advances from all the international distributors. And so they literally build their budget around what they already know or project based on his international value, his international worth, which is very interesting for Timothy Chalamet, which is why I brought that up when I saw that, Marty did over $70 million here domestically, but it's only done 10 overseas. Now, he's already a big star, is Chalamet, but those kinds of decisions can hurt him in the long run if he's not building, and this is true about American comedies, they have a really hard time translating, and this is true about it doesn't matter, just, whenever a comedy jumps out of its cultural sandbox, it starts feeling out of place because people just don't get the same nuances and so on and so forth. You can get that here. It would be like watching, I made a Christian movie. If you're not Christian, and a Christian comedy, and you'd be watching, they'd be like, well, that's not fucking funny.
Yeah, and it's also like European horror films are always known for being like 100 times more gruesome than American horror films. So
is that true?
They must be so bored with what we put out for horror films here.
This is just like it's just like a part of his whole epic fail because here he is, he's given this great opportunity to get grooming. All you want, and by the way, it's just like even if you're stupid enough, even if you're so stupid that you think you don't need that, Why wouldn't
or
you
wouldn't benefit
Why
from
wouldn't
it.
you take advantage of what you know to be this massive connection? This guy couldn't be
He was just
more
suspicious
connected.
because it came from them, and he's already got this before he even
directed
started
40 fucking episodes of
I know,
fucking
but
Stranger
listen.
Things. That means that Netflix is in his back
Okay,
pocket.
but listen. So before Justin Baldoni ever started filming and had on-set conflicts with Blake Lively, the shit about her trailer, the shit about too much kissing, whatever.
Yeah.
He was already paranoid about what she was trying to bring to bear for him, to benefit him. Like a call with a mentor only benefits him. It doesn't do anything other than that.
What he was he was already in a defensive posture.
Yes.
He got into it's probably less paranoia and a lot more of a defensive posture right from the beginning. He felt threatened immediately. And the part of the reason why he probably felt threatened is because he's probably quite narcissistic by nature. He has a giant fucking ego, and in walks Blake Lively, who is a double-decade A-list talent that he knows. By the way, like in that part of the testimony when he says, "Oh, Blake Lively, I really there was no other choice. Like I didn't really have another choice."
Right.
That means that, and this is what you go through, but that means he's like sitting there dealing with a studio, and this is how it goes, right? The studio, you bring the studio a project, they say, get me this, that, and the other, and you got a deal. So the studio is going to say, give me a Blake Lively, and you got a deal. And then, so he sees the power in that, the intimidation, because Justin Baldoni is nobody in the studio world.
Here's what I don't understand. If you think that Blake Lively has sent her like this heavyweight director,
Her goons, whatever you want to call
right,
it, yeah.
to do a phone call with me, right? I'm Justin Baldoni, and this phone call has been set up that I didn't ask for. I don't know what it's about, and I'm a little paranoid that maybe he's trying to like extract information or something because I'm like a paranoid person and I don't make any sense in my head. What I would obviously do is just like handle the phone call as if it was a mentor thing and not give the person any information from me and just extract from them what they have to offer in the phone call. And it would be fine and nobody would know that there was any sort of worry or issue on my part. I don't know why he had to make it seem like he didn't want the phone call. He didn't want to benefit from it and he couldn't handle it on his end. This is why I'm not really sure people are right when they say that he's a narcissist, because a narcissist would feel like they have control over that situation too. Right? If he feels like this is like, maybe
not
that
if,
it was,
not if they're, well, but that's, so what we're saying is he's triggered by the fact that he doesn't.
yes, I know, but why isn't he not taking control of the situation?
Because he doesn't have it. This is the point I'm trying to make, is that when you sweep in with somebody at her level, there's an amount of control that gets loosened from your grip. Like, look, do you think James fucking Cameron wanted to get notes from Leonardo fucking DiCaprio?
No, of course not.
No, and Leonardo DiCaprio at that point had nothing but small, tiny things that fucking...
He's fucking 20 years old.
Things that James Cameron would turn his fucking nose at in a second.
This is a scene in your book, by the way.
Fucking Basketball Diaries to James Cameron?
Yeah, right.
What does that mean to James Cameron? Nothing. It means nothing to him. So the idea that he's got to accept notes, but this is how it works. Like Leonardo DiCaprio wasn't A-list, but Leonardo DiCaprio was going to be A-list. CAA, one of the largest agencies in the world, treated him like they're A-list. I told you guys about me trying to get the Fuji song for our movie, and they were like, dude, it's Led Zeppelin like level shit. But they weren't Led Zeppelin. They were the fucking Fugees. But they were treated like Led Zeppelin by the agents, and then that drove their value to a point where they were unobtainable, right? So Leonardo DiCaprio was elevated to that level, that so high that James fuck Cameron, the guy who did Terminator, is listening to Leo squeak fucking voice DiCaprio tell him that he writes cheesy.
He had to do rewrites, right?
And then he's got to do some rewrites on his character, right? So, and this is the point, James Cameron understands the climate of the world that he works in. He knows that even as a big giant he's sitting there whining right now because his movie has done under $2 billion and he doesn't know how they're going to be able to afford to be able to make the next ones. It's not all automatic just because you're a big star. It's not all automatic just because you're a big fucking director. And I think a lot of people think it is, and it's not. You can win an Oscar and never fucking work again if you play your cards the wrong way. Or barely ever work again. You with me?
Yeah.
So it's just a fucking huge fumble. He has this great opportunity.
I know.
He has this perfect situation where this guy can literally take him. Like, the one thing you want to do perfectly with your A-list actor is you want to get them from day one to day whatever your fucking schedule says, 45. You want to get them to day 1 to day 45, feeling great the whole way through.
Yeah.
That's what you want to do with that A-list talent. This guy says, I have you the blueprint.
Yeah, I know.
And he felt
it's so
threatened
weird.
by
He's
it.
so paranoid about Blake Lively. Here comes this guy who's going to tell him exactly how to navigate and manage the situation with Blake Lively, and he's like, "No thanks, that's suspicious." Like what?
What is wrong with your brain?
You're so weird.
Why would she do this except to help you? Like, what do you think? It's how Hollywood works. When somebody opens up,
so nuts.
In Hollywood, I've heard it called opening up the Rolodex. You know, get close to him and he'll open up the Rolodex for you. Like, that's all you're waiting for is, so will you make the call? You make the call!
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
it's insane that this guy picked up the phone, this fucking guy who is epic in every possible
So busy.
way. I mean, my God, Mr. Prolific, and he's going to pick up the phone and take time out of his day to speak to a guy he doesn't even know because of a deep relationship with this guy's now new star for his movie. Insane. Insane.
Everybody around watching Justin Baldoni act this way must have been so confused. What is the matter with them?
I just don't understand it. I really don't.
Okay, so he does know of a recording that Jamie Heath did of a phone call.
Okay.
Let's see.
Yes.
Question, does Jamie Heath ever record phone calls in the course of his work for Wayfarer to your understanding? Justin Baldoni says, I don't know. I know he has, but I don't know if it's a regular practice. How do you know he has? Justin Baldoni says, because I'm aware of at least a recording. Which recording is that? Answer, I'm aware of a recording of a WME agent or conversation that happened. How did you become aware of that recording? And he says, Justin Baldoni says he was told. He doesn't remember by whom, but he would assume it was Jamie. Justin Baldoni says, I can't speak to why he was telling me. Did you have any understanding from what he said to you of why he was telling? Sorry, did you have any understanding from what he said to you of why he was telling you? He said, yes. And what was that understanding? Justin Baldoni says, I believe we were being threatened. By whom? Justin Baldoni says, by Mr. Reynolds and Miss Lively. Do you know who was on the call? Justin Baldoni says, I know someone from WME, I presume to be my former agent. I think Jennifer Abel was on the call. There may have been assistance on the WME side, or I'm not sure. Question, when you say your former agent at WME, do you mean Danny Greenberg? He said, I do. Was your understanding of that call that it was a call between Jamie and Danny Greenberg? Justin Baldoni says, I actually don't know much about the call, so I can't answer that. Question, to your understanding, how were you being threatened at the time by Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds? Justin Baldoni says, my understanding was that there were demands being made that I release some sort of public statement that had been drafted by Mr. Reynolds and Miss Lively and given to an agent. And I had been told there were multiple calls that were incoming from the agency saying that if Justin doesn't release this statement, then Miss Lively and Mr. Reynolds will leave William Morris.
Now, when he's saying he's not being told by the agent.
No.
Okay.
I was told that the agency called numerous times, and this evidently was a phone call on which a statement was read that was prepared by Mr. Reynolds and Miss Lively. And the only other thing I remember about it was that it was inferred that if this wasn't done, the gloves would come off.
Now, you see where this guy goes, bro? Inferred. It was inferred.
So is that you're just making assumptions out of your own head?
This guy he
just
makes
being
shit up.
paranoid,
He
like
makes shit
usual?
up. He's up at his he's all up in his head. He's, it's an inference. He's also being mishandled.
Also, what is the threat? The threat is the agency is saying, if you don't make this public statement, remember, the public statement
there's no way that they said
no,
that.
but listen, the public statement was just a draft, right? That obviously was his opportunity it was a negotiation tool he could have just taken. where he could have rewritten it exactly how he wanted to, pushed it back on them, and then they would have been the assholes for not accepting it, right? So just to be clear, he fucking biffed that shit too, right? That was obviously an opportunity. But what the statement was saying was to publicly release some sort of acknowledgement of what everybody behind the scenes already knew was true. So Justin Baldoni never, behind the scenes in any correspondences with any of the people involved in this case, ever denied that they didn't want to walk the red carpet with him because they had decided they did not want to. He understood exactly why they didn't want to, and he understood that they had made that ultimatum, that they weren't going to walk the red carpet unless they were separate from Justin Baldoni. So the statement only said, we want you to tell people publicly that this is what happened. And they put it to him out of respect, right? Because they're not just going to fucking drop a bomb on this. They're not trying to ruin, his project and Sony's project and the release of that film. That would have been fucking stupid, right? No, only Justin Baldoni is the person who's going to like risk ruining the publicity of his own film. But Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds aren't doing that. So they're putting it on him, saying, would you mind telling people that the reason we walked separately was something that you are aware of, that we were all in agreement of?
It wasn't even, would you mind? Because the letter was, in my opinion.
No, instead of them
fucked up. Admit that you fucked up.
Yes.
You controlled this production.
I didn't even read it that way.
I did.
It was a draft, right? He could have omitted all of that part in his revision of it. He could have omitted all of the part about him admitting he fucked up. But what they wanted to do was tell everybody who was talking shit and asking questions in the tabloids to recognize that the film production did make a choice for them all to walk separately. Now, they could have totally spun it, right? They could have spun it being like, we decided to all walk separately because it was a marketing decision about how to market the movie. He is a DV abuser and she's a DV survivor in the film. And so we decided not to have them fucking canoodling on the red carpet together. Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe that would have been a fix he could have proposed. He could have continued the conversation. And this is why I'm saying Justin Baldoni's a fucking dumbass, because he didn't see it as a tool for negotiation.
Well, what's weird is that nobody did. Like even Steve and Sarah was like, I don't know how all these people can have succeeded in their lives and not see a clear path to a negotiation.
The reason why is because Melissa Nathan is a crisis manager, and she wanted a crisis as soon as fucking possible. So when she got that, and Justin Baldoni was paranoid about yet another thing, she was like, okay, lawyer up, let's go to war, because that's how I'm really going to get paid. That's what fucking happened. That's why nobody fucking used this as a bargaining chip like they should have. So stupid.
It was like the easiest thing in the world to like, hey, listen, I don't like this language. Let's talk about that language. Let's fucking settle it. Like, how could you not want, especially, on the cusp of this success? Yeah, it's an how could you not just want it to put, and it's just one fuck up after another. And what is weird for me is that it's not just him. That it's also these other people around him, like one of them saying, let's go to war. And another not stepping in and saying, hey, this
didn't go to war.
Well, this is an opportunity for negotiation, even if it doesn't work.
What if we go to mediation?
Right. Even if it doesn't work, let's have a talk. Let's see if we can get that.
What would have happened is if he had taken that draft letter and he had actually used it and constructed something interesting out of it, right? And like continue the conversation with it instead of just like putting up all these barriers and deciding to go to war, whatever the fuck that means. Everybody would have fucking moved on. That would have been the only controversy of this entire thing, was that they didn't walk the red carpet together. And do you think any of us would still be talking about it? No. Well, Justin Baldoni would be on his next fucking 3 films. Blake Lively would have fucking kept her reputation intact like it was before Justin Baldoni started all the rest of this bullshit. But that was a real change in how he decided to ramp up his attack. And now look at what it got him.
Well, and let me tell you another thing. And that is that, oh, no, I lost my train of thought. God damn it. I had a good one. So did you.
Dumbass.
Me?
No. Just, Justin Baldoni, I just cannot believe there's a lot exposed in this new testimony. We've seen a little snippets. Like I've reread a bunch of that. Like I've, been doing some redundant reading.
Yeah.
But in what is newly revealed, it just makes even worse picture. I don't know how he doesn't realize that he has just screwed up so much. I don't know how you fix this sort of thing.
Yeah. Bing Bop is back.
Sweet.
He's so controversial.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know what. I guess they blocked him or something. I don't know.
I don't remember that.
He's usually fine. I mean, he's definitely on the other side, but that's cool. I don't mind.
Are you sure you're talking about the same person?
Yeah. I know who this person is.
Is it because you put Baldoni in the thumbnail?
Yeah, probably. I mean, they've been before. I mean, they know we're outspoken and they know our position.
Okay, so here's more about the WME recorded phone call with Jamie Heath and Greenberg, the agent.
By the
okay?
way, I just want to add to that before you go on that I don't think for a second that this recorded call is going to, disclose the same kind of information that he perceives happened.
think so either.
But even if it did happen, I'm telling you that was just an agent playing the game.
Yeah, the agent wants him to do something and
Exactly.
is like, listen.
Yes.
How
And
do I get
leveraging
this?
it.
How do I get this clown who's my client?
It's the same thing if Sony
just
would have said something
comply.
like Justin or Jamie Heath in a phone call to Jamie Heath going, over the trailer and everything else. Jamie, can you just fucking play ball? Okay. We don't want her to not fucking call Taylor Swift. All right. We want her to do all the promo because, the way that, there might be a perception of leverage over Blake Lively's promo work for the movie would be would be about her doing the extra stuff. She has a contractual obligation to do the promo that she's contractually obligated to, and she's going to do that. But doing other stuff like book fair fucking screenings and shit like that, these are things that are going to pop up, these opportunities that are going to pop up that, marketing goes, hey, Blake, can we get you for this? Hey, Blake, can we get you for that? So the way that might be leveraged in a conversation from, say, an agent or a publicist to a producer might be like, look, we want her for this. We don't want to lose her for that. Why wouldn't you want to play that way? Do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Not because she's doing anything.
Right. Because he's making bullshit ultimatums about a fucking signature that even the studio doesn't care about.
Correct.
Yeah.
In the same way that fucking Justin Baldoni in his total fucking boundless ignorance, doesn't know that a film by credit is a vanity credit. The most vain credit in all of fucking show business.
I love it in that little bit of questioning. He's talking about how he's learning so much through these depositions. Dude,
maybe you should have fucking took this guy's call and learned a little more then.
Maybe you should have been a little bit more like curious instead of on the fucking defensive offense.
A real fucking muppet, this one.
Okay, so he thinks that the phone call happened between Jamie Heath and the agent at WME. He thinks it was recorded early 2025. He thinks.
Okay.
And he has not listened to the recording, so he doesn't even know what's on the recording. He only knows what somebody told him. He's so easy. It's so easy to convince him that somebody was making a threat, but he doesn't actually want to hear the words that were spoken so that he can discern for himself whether he's under threat.
Yeah.
He's so eager to just believe that people are attacking him that he's never like, well, hang on a minute. That sounds pretty extreme.
It always drives me crazy. It's like produce actual, real, fucking, empirical, like tangible proof around the shit that you're.
Unbelievable.
You're just sitting there just relying on this shit like it's, I mean, it's just pointless. It's caused him so much grief.
So he is saying that
it's so sloppy.
I know. And look at where it got him. He says that Jamie Heath was probably located in Los Angeles at the time of the call. He doesn't know where Danny Greenberg was. And he doesn't know if Jamie Heath informed Danny Greenberg that he was being recorded. So he doesn't know.
It's weird that he would even get questioned anyway, because it's not.
He also doesn't know where Jen Abel was during that call, because I guess she was on the phone. Can you describe for me in your own words what you do for a living?
Sit around, talk shit.
Come up with elaborate conspiracy theories against me.
Order food. Sometimes I get really hungry and I just order food.
Justin Baldoni says, I am. He stops and goes, that's a good question. I am a filmmaker, an actor. I've been an author. I hosted a podcast, and I am part owner of a studio. I guess I'm an entertainment entrepreneur, maybe. Question, the part owner of a studio, the studio referring to is Wayfair. Is that right? He says, yes, ma'am. What is your percentage ownership of Wayfair? He says somewhere between 20 and 25%, I think. And the remaining ownership, is that held by Steve Sarowitz? Baldoni says yes. Question, does anyone else have any part ownership in Wayfair? He says there are, I'm not sure contractually if anyone does, but I know that there are two. There may be three people that have like promises of equity or ghost stock, or I don't know if anything's been formalized. And those two or three people are Jamie Heath, Ahmed Kolake, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, and Tara Hanks, I believe. Question, going through each of them, do you have
They must have been so bummed. Like Tara Hanks would be like, why did you blow this up? I was about to get my equity play, bro.
Oh my God, I know. What is this, ghost
You
stock?
guys suck.
Strange. I wonder if this is skipped. So it's page 41.
I want to go see the hologram in their theater.
You want to see the Wayfarer
I want to get
Theater
pictures
hologram?
of me in the hologram. Yeah.
Welcome to Wayfarer Studios. I imagined it being like
Touch
totally,
me with your light. Touch me with your light.
Yeah, I know. My favorite part about that story about Steve Sarowitz talking about how he wants to build a hologram to welcome people to his Wayfarer Studios is that it's just leave it up to a fucking billionaire to look at all of like the dystopian films that have always had like holograms talking to people and see that as like aspirational instead of like like horrific. We've only ever seen that in dystopian movies, and he's like, I love the aesthetic. This is what I want for my shit.
Jesus.
She's starting this new line of questioning, and I wonder whether we should stop for the day.
What is it?
Oh, she's just talking about like who owns Wayfarer, and I just don't know if this is interesting.
All right, let's do chat. Should we come back tomorrow?
I'm down.
Are you healthy enough?
Yeah.
All right, maybe we'll do Saturday special edition.
I think it works out well because then if you set this up to edit, then we can do several parts on your channel, on your YouTube channel of like Justin Baldoni's
Deposition, full
yeah.
deposition. Mm-hmm. Analysis and breakdown from two people who don't know shit.
That's right.
Let's do the chat then. Man, it was good to see some folks from Fell Bombing, man. What a great, it's like, I don't know if you've ever been out driving around and you see like, a buck, You're like,
a buck?
Yeah, you're like, oh
like
shit.
A deer?
Yeah, there's like a fucking, 12-point buck, You
sound like Norm Macdonald right
know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like fell bombing, seeing a fell bombing. I miss all the people, man. I was thinking about Dr. Susan. Like, I hope she's tingling right now because I'm like, oh, where'd the love go? You don't have to stop the love.
I don't know the context of this, but Potato just shouted in all caps, "Get the Pope in here!" I don't understand that, but that's really great.
I knew a person who knew the Pope. No, I knew a person who met the Pope.
Oh, I guess they were trying to kick out, who is this? Bing, bop, boom, 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 bop, bam.
Yeah.
Said, I'll grant your wish. Gotta go anyway. Have a great night. So I guess they're trying to kick him out.
Yeah, I guess they didn't like. I guess he was bringing some bad flavor.
Yeah, well, this person
what movies are we watching?
That is a pro Baldoni guy.
Cosmic Urgency's asked, what movies are we watching? And I don't know. I definitely, we haven't watched a movie in like 2 weeks.
That's because you had sports that you were really invested in for a while.
I'm not
and it was
looking
taking
for.
up
I'm not
all of our
looking
TV
for.
time.
I'm not, you don't blame me. I'm just saying.
I'm not blaming
you.
you.
Are. You're blaming me.
Nobody's being blamed.
You're blaming. You just blame
I'm
me.
explaining the reason why we haven't been watching movies, and it's because you have been watching football games that are longer than movies.
We gotta watch one. We gotta watch
much
one.
longer than movies.
At least one.
But the Sundays no longer belong to the birds, and so we're gonna be get sad temporarily. The Sundays will belong to the birds again soon.
Once We're Warriors. I did see it already, but yeah, I could watch that again. It's a classic.
That's a classic.
Yeah, I don't remember it, so it'd be worth seeing again.
The Junk Farm says, Baldoni stands don't understand what a fact even is.
They really don't. And what the worst part about it, and I'm not going to say all of them.
There's a great example of that when they're like, look at this evidence. Newly unsealed evidence shows that Blake Lively was taking over the movie, and it's literally just a text message of Justin Baldoni telling one of his friends Blake Lively is taking over the movie.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's what they think evidence is him complaining, bitching about something he could have totally made up.
Well, it's weird because it's like whatever Justin Baldoni says is true. Like they just believe that everything he says is true.
Exactly.
And then I don't know. And I doubt that if any of them are exposed deep enough to realize that this guy doesn't even get the information that he needs to make a decision. He gets it all. This guy is the secondhand manager. Like it blows my mind, bro. I don't know how. It is no wonder to me that he has had all these troubles. People, this in Jamie Heath's deposition, Apparently, Jamie Heath said that they lost 90% of their opportunities as a result of this lawsuit or since this lawsuit.
Oh, maybe you guys should have gone into mediation or something and,
so
avoided a lawsuit.
So these people were complaining about it online. They were like, "Oh, what the fuck, bro? Like, why does he lose this?" And here was my response to them, because it was like they were like, "Oh, it's just heartbreaking," and I was like, "They lost their opportunities because they blew it."
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Having a billionaire in your corner in Hollywood is probably the most powerful thing a production company can have.
Not just that, but they lied they lied to their insurance companies.
Well, I know. That's another problem. But
who can even fucking insure them for a production?
The only reason that these opportunities went away is the fear of liability.
Yeah.
Wayfarer is litigious.
Yep.
The company was formed in 2019, and they have been sued
the New York Times
4 different times for sexual harassment, for intellectual property theft, for discrimination, twice for retaliation, and many more fucking allegations.
But also, they're suing everybody left and right.
The jig
they
is up.
sued
And
the
look,
publicist that they hired, right? Stephanie Jones worked for them for several years, and they fucking sued her. Who wants to work with somebody who's going to do that? And also, suing the New York Times is just nuts. Like, nobody ever does that because you don't win, and he didn't.
And listen,
so
man,
it's like, you know.
Obviously, lawsuits happen in Hollywood all the fucking time. I'm not suggesting, but these aren't just lawsuits. They're IP theft. They're sexual harassment, discrimination, retaliation. It's not like the kinds of lawsuits that if you're like, you're going to work with another company, go, oh, you got some lawsuits. What are they? Oh, okay, wrongful termination. Okay, well, who doesn't have wrongful termination? Everybody tries to get out of paying the buck. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So but instead it was, these more severe and more, and when you're dealing in entertainment, like when you have things like discrimination and sexual harassment following you around, the IP theft is probably one you can hide, but those other two, Megan Twohey types find those. Mm-hmm. They want to write about those because they involve the exploitation of human beings, because they involve the abuse of human beings.
There's this really adorable conversation in the chat happening about how Jamie Heath spells his name.
The EY thing?
Yes. Potato said, is that really how he spells Jamie? I'm offended by that spelling. And then Kayla Clark shows up and says it should be Jamie Heath, spelled Jameigh. And then Potato links the subreddit where people are sharing really bonkers American girls or kids names, and it's called the subreddit's called Our Tragedy, but it's TRAGEDEIGH.
That's good. You guys are really fucking funny.
Oh, you guys. I'm offended by that spelling.
All right, we'll try to dig in. Listen, we won't do the first hour of me explaining myself about Amber Heard. I just need to have that conversation with people because,
because somebody said that you were gross for.
Yeah, people are being really mean to me about it, and it's like, hey, if you want to show me, some facts that weren't in the case that might change my mind about whether or not Amber Heard was a victim of Johnny Depp's, go right ahead. I'll fucking happily read it. But to call me gross over it because I'm using the same information that a jury used to find that she did in fact defame him when she said that he had committed these offenses, and that the evidence did not prove that he committed those offenses. And I believe that. That's like, I don't know if people are necessarily being fair with me. But with that said, I also understand, okay, yeah, you're passionate about this and blah, blah, blah. But, it's important to recognize, and talk, you know what I mean? Like, just be aware, obviously, I'm talking about, and I said multiple times that I'm talking about the information that was given to the jury is the same information I'm using to come up with the conclusions I did. Anyway, I won't go on about it all again. I already did. Cosmic Urgency is watching The Rip. Maybe we'll watch this. It's got Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, and they're friends. They're good friends.
I'm eager to see another Teyana Taylor movie. I hadn't seen her in anything besides One Battle After Another, and she just won the Golden Globe, so it'd be nice to see her in this one too.
Yeah, maybe we'll movie club that one. Did you know that Matt Damon and Ben Affleck are friends? Did you know that?
I'd heard that before.
Yeah. There are pictures.
Of them together?
Yeah, when they were kids and everything.
Oh.
Yeah, they've been kids. Can you imagine two friends? Huh? Making it. Huh? Isn't that something? 2 friends. Crazy.
I'm not a very good actor.
You're not? No?
No, I was struggling to pretend like I didn't know what you were talking about.
No, you did good. You did really good there. Thank you for playing along with my stupidity.
I kind of wish I saw them together more, you know? I'm like, come on, guys, do the friend thing.
Hey, the rip is nice and fresh, bro. It's just released. Only 4,100 ratings on IMDb, so your voice matters. So this might be the weekend where, you know, you could really move the ticker.
One thing about seeing Ben Affleck and Matt Damon together is that they seem like they fit, you know, like they come from the same planet.
Yeah.
Whereas when you see Leonardo DiCaprio and Tobey Maguire together, it is very fucking weird. It's like Leonardo DiCaprio has like this, you know, what are those fish that latch onto the shark?
Oh yeah, those leeches, whatever they're called. What are they called?
They're lampreys or whatever.
Lampreys? Is that what it is?
It's like he's got one of those following behind him. If you've ever seen a full body picture from the paparazzi of Tobey Maguire, he is such a strange looking person.
Did you know he was in the news the other day because he took some young girl home and his gate pass key or whatever wouldn't open.
So he had to climb
So
his
they
gate.
they had to jump the gate.
And the fucking paparazzi.
He looks like
right there.
he dresses like, I'm not saying he should dress like he's 50 or whatever, but he dresses like he's like 20. Maybe I would too. I don't know.
Oh, I
Put on
fucking would for sure. If I was rich in my 50s, I would dress however the fuck I want. That's for sure.
Would you dye your beard?
Would I dye my beard?
Yeah.
No, I would never dye my beard. Is he dyeing his beard because he wants to be attractive to younger
Should I dye
women?
my beard?
Should you dye your beard?
Yeah.
No, the silver fox look is very attractive.
What do you think would happen if I showed up here and do you think everybody would just have a heart attack if I showed up here and I had like one of those like brown beards that look like a
Looks like it's out of a box?
like a synthetic
Yeah.
brown that has like
It's all one
like
color.
it's almost got like a peach reddish tone to it or something.
But it's like solid.
and it's solid one color.
It looks like you just like stuck on from like a Party City.
I love that
basket.
on thinning hair. It's so weird because women who dye their hair right up until, you know, hospice, they fucking, it kind of looks fine. But you dye a dude's hair, as soon as he hits like my age or older and they start like having to dye that hair, it almost always looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I think it's because the guys are trying to get like their hair to look like women are like, oh, it's blue because I wanted it to be blue, you know? Right. And guys are like, it looks natural, doesn't it? No, dude, it does. It looks like somebody like spray painted your head.
Yeah, women have definitely co-opted vanity. It's a weird flex for you guys. Vanity doesn't really fit on dudes.
Just get old and die, bro.
And on that note,
it's what we do. Well, we saw some old. Listen, guys. Again, just one call before we leave. If you haven't liked, give us a like before you leave. We would really appreciate it. We do. We want to grow this fucking thing. You know the pitch. We want to grow. We want to be huge like Joe Rogan. No, we don't. I want to do interviews, don't you? I want to be on the interview circuit.
I think that'd be really fun.
I want to interview like, Jason Kelsey.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Would you'd be like, okay, Jason Kelsey, thank you for accepting our interview. But if I could ask for you to make sure before you come on for the interview that you wear those snap pants. Angela really likes those snap pants.
I'll be like, Jason,
and just tear them off.
I don't want to alarm you, but I'm going to try to make you blow your entire career on this interview.
Why?
So please wear the snap pants, and we're doing shots. And
we're doing shots.
And of course, my shots are going to be water. He's like, why do you do vodka? Vodka's my favorite drink. Because vodka looks like water, that's why. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, pets and fish. We had fun. Did you have fun?
Yes, I did. It's good.
This is a juicy thing, man. There's lots to go. I mean, we obviously we'll be back at 6 tomorrow. This is the only way. All right. Health permitting.
I am going to make sure I didn't miss.
Jon Stewart dyes his beard. Don't dry your beard. Don't dye your beard. It's the stupidest thing. It looks so bad. Like, I get it. This is going to be pearl white one day. And you know what? Maybe at that point, I'll just shave it and I'll go to the, but yeah.
Well, one thing is when it gets pearl white, you got to make sure it's not yellowed. So then you do actually have to care for the color of it. Because it's fucking gross.
If your beard looks like you've been peeing on your face.
Rolling around in tobacco.
Oh, I went with peeing on the face, but yeah, maybe rolling on tobacco.
Way to make it weird, Dale.
Hey, you said the color, not me.
Okay. We'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah, like blowing smoke through your nostrils, and then you got the Bob Weir, bro. He died.
Dale.
Bob Weir's dead.
I know. Very sorry.
I was going to say have a nice weekend, but I'll see you tomorrow.
Yep.
I still want you to have a good one, but I hope you'll come and hang out with us. And everybody be nice. Right?
Right.
Good night, you guys.
Good night.
Bye-bye.